God of War Ragnarok Story details are here. We now have the official synopsis, and I wanted to discuss that as well as the size of the game as we continue to debate about God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year, its comparison to last release from the franchise. And I'm going to put all the good info right here at the beginning of the video so you don't have to go searching for it. Then I discuss it with the live stream. So make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss these live streams. And I try to give you these nice quick updates right at the beginning. And I will do that in the form of what we call a Reforge update. This is a Reforge update. God of War Ragnarok Story and size continues to be something that is speculated about, but we now have more information about the story synopsis and other commentary from other interviews that really points to a significantly larger game than God of War 2018. As always, if you like these quick updates, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss the uploads, or check out Reforge Gaming where I stream live. So this has been a common debate. There's been criticism that the game just looks like DLC, looks like more of the same. Many people speculating that it's not going to be that impressive, seemingly based on not very much. Now that we get more details as well as information from leaks of those working on the game, it seems to be shaping up to be a very large game, and PlayStation updated the Sony storefront with a synopsis of the story that does continue to add to the idea that this is going to be a very big game. The PlayStation Store updated with this following synopsis: Fimbulwinter is well underway. Kratos and Atreus must journey to reach to each of the 9 realms in search of answers as Asgardian forces prepare for a prophesied battle that will end the world. Along the way, they will explore stunning mythical landscapes and face fearsome enemies in the form of Norse gods and monsters. The threat of Ragnarok grows ever closer. Kratos and Atreus must choose between their own safety and the safety of the realms. Now, many people might say, well, all 9 realms, what does that mean? Is that significant? Well, compared to the last game, it is important to note the following. PushSquare.com said this: on the PlayStation blog, it has been confirmed that we'll be visiting all 9 realms in God of War Ragnarok. In 2018's game, 3 of the realms were sealed off: Vanaheim, Svartalfheim, and Asgard. Most notably in that list is probably Asgard. That will, I'm assuming, be the culmination of the game and where we end up. I do believe we'll be facing Odin. They did say that the game's release date landing on a Wednesday. People were wondering, that's kind of a strange release date. They said that's Odin's Day, and that was why they chose to do it. They actually did apparently push the date back. They were planning on landing on the 11th, which would have had them landing at the exact same time as Starfield. There are now reports stating that they decided to push it back. We don't know if that's in relation to the fact that they just wanted to undercut Starfield by 2 days, or they just decided to be cute with their release date once Starfield got delayed. So the fact that we're going to all 9 realms, which is 3 additional compared to last, is pretty significant considering God of War 2018 was such a large game. Many people, and there was even some commentary from one of the guys who formerly worked on the game, saying this is DLC, seemingly based on just nothing other than negativity. But according to Push Square, exploring the realms will take you everywhere from verdant otherworldly jungles to intricate subterranean mining networks. The next installment in the series will bring you a more diverse, beautiful, and mysterious variety of locations than in any other God of War game. So they're saying there's going to be more diverse, more locations than any other God of War game previous. That means the game is larger than the 2018 God of War. Also, quoting Jason Schreier in an interview that he gave, he said, people working on it say it's huge, and they seem to be really excited about it. It reminds me of the buzz I was hearing before the 2018 one. And the story will be capping off the Norse series. This was confirmed by Eric Williams in a post-show interview. He said, you can't call the game God of War Ragnarok and not have Ragnarok happen in the game. It's gonna happen. We're gonna cap off the Norse series with it. Big game and big things will happen in this video game, in this installment of God of War. God of War Ragnarok looking to be large, all 9 realms, great story synopsis, and it will end the Norse series. As always, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my uploads. Check out Reforge Gaming where I stream live, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This has been a hot debate in our stream and in other circles. A strange debate, honestly, to talk about a game that we know so little about with almost forced negativity. Oh, it's just going to be DLC. Oh, it's just going to be that. And now we've got more and more info pointing to the fact that this game is going to be enormous. 2018 is a huge game. Truth be told, God of War 2018 is already an enormous game. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Guys, go through your morning ritual. Go through that morning ritual and hit the like button and make sure you are on live chat. We really appreciate people supporting the channel. Recently, there hasn't been a lot of news to cover. Today's a good day. We got synopsis and more info on God of War Ragnarok. We've got Stray. I will be playing Stray later. However, we got to wait until noon. Huge bummer. I thought we were going to be able to jump in a little bit earlier than that because I thought it was going to be a midnight release. It's not going to be a midnight release. It's going to be a midday release at noon Eastern. But we are jumping into Stray, the cat game on PlayStation. So those are your two shows for the day. And then we will end the day with a members only segment. We've been doing that virtually every day. It's a great opportunity for you to kind of hang out with me off show, off schedule, and not have to worry about being super rigid. Read in your best Morbius voice. God of War Ragnarok is one of the best DLCs of all time. Is one of the DLCs of all time. Did you mistype that? I can't do a Morbius voice. Thank God midday releases always go without a hitch. Well, I don't think Stray has any online features, so we should be okay. I can't wait for the next God of War game where Kratos kills the Hindu gods. Man's on a complete decided run. That's right. Hey, by the way, Reforge Roast is a great way to support what we do. I've not been pushing it enough. Please check out reforgeroast.com or use the coffee link in the description below or the command in chat. That brand new web presence is great. We've got coffee descriptions, flavor profiles. If you want to know how we get balanced acidity in the coffee, it's right there for you. Oh, that's the Morbin meme. Oh, okay. God of War Ragnarok is one of the DLCs of all time. Maybe I like Rigid. What's good, Valiant? Guys, thanks so much for being here. 9 more likes to give us the first 100 likes. Please do that as quick as you can. Get us those quick likes. Can't wait, says Fuzzy. PS, yeah, I love that meme. I love the meme, the meme with the PS logo. That is so brilliant. We did get a code for a game that's also coming out today about extinction or something. I forget the name of it now. But we did get approval for a code for that, so we'll throw that over on First Look. I'll probably record that later today, and then we'll premiere that maybe tomorrow. If I don't fight a vacuum, it will be a 1-star for me. Right. It's one of the movies of all time. What's good, Lido? Oh, man. I just hope Stray has a protagonist that waves plastic bags at you. Now that's a throwback, John. Calling God of War enormous could be a bit misleading, seeing games like Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2 exist. Well, but that's subjective, is it not, David? I mean, I appreciate the point that you're bringing up. Games like Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2 are open world, and they're absolutely humongous. But if you were to take God of War 2018 and you pieced together all of the maps and all of the places that you could go, it's a dadgum humongous game. It is more linear. It is certainly less opening. That's the one, Paul. Yes, we got a code for Endling. Yeah, I thought that game looked pretty cool. So that'll end up over on Reforge First Look. Don't forget about all of our other channels, guys. Reforge First Look is a great channel for quick first looks at games. Reforge Updates is very quick updates. We'll have some updates maybe hitting there this morning. Creature may be indisposed today. He's got some stuff going on, but those channels are well worth checking out. Unfortunately, I don't see a way to get God of War 18 save files to tell you total time played, but I'm pretty sure it took me at least 60 hours to 100% it on one playthrough. I'm telling you, it's humongous. I would love to see somebody do that. If somebody could take God of War 2018, like take the map and piece it all together to be like Actually, this game is comparable to open world games because now some of it's water, so you got to be careful because, you know, you're in a boat and there's big areas of water. But each of the areas and each of the places that you go and how many, you have 6 realms, is a pretty gigantic game. I think being more linear just gives this impression that, like, oh, it's so much smaller. Like, how much of what makes Red Dead Redemption 2 huge and how much of what makes Elden Ring huge is just all these big, giant open fields, right? God of War Ragnarok is on Steam. Hilly photoshopped the God of War PC Steam store, and he put God of War Ragnarok DLC down below. That's good. That's really good, Hilly. That's some of your best work, Hilberg. But boat travel is essentially vehicle travel, no different than a motorcycle or a horse. Total map is huge. See, I agree with that. I agree with that. Just because you're in the water or you're riding through some big open field or some road, there's nothing happening in those open fields and roads in those games. So yes, I would agree that like total map size of Red Dead Redemption 2 or Elden Ring is probably larger than, you know, I don't know. I might put God of War 2018 up against Elden Ring. Oh, I'm so sorry, Discord. We got 4 people in Discord listening. Paul, Oscar, Warpath, and Melee. I apologize. I thought I undeafened in here. Sorry about that. Let's see who's talking in Mod Talk. Am I missing something or just pissed cows and addictive? I had no idea a person was 17. I heard the story. They're really going to bury a 17-year-old. It doesn't surprise me. They don't mind ruining somebody's life. There's wildlife and dynamic events in those fields. I mean, yes and no, Fozzie. Yes and no. I don't know if I'm going to argue this point too strongly, but I am going to say this. Elden Ring especially, a lot of those big open areas, homie, they are very, very scripted. There's not some dynamic experience you can have. Now, in some areas, like if it's night, like a certain enemy could show up or something. But I think the point that he's making, he says they have big areas, but they're filled with enemies and NPCs all over the place. See, that's just absolutely false. No, that's false. There are plenty of areas in Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2 where literally nothing will happen. Now, if you're near the street, again, there are scripted things that happen in Red Dead Redemption 2. A guy's going to go by on his horse. A guy's going to go by on his wagon or whatever. Like, those scripted things are happening, yes. And that gives it a sense of feeling alive, for sure. But, man, there's entire sections of the map where, like, nothing's going on. There's nothing going on parts of Elden Ring's maps. Now, you hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm actually one of the people that believes in a dynamic map. I don't think every part of the map needs to be bursting with life. Like, it's okay to ride through a field and there's nothing there, right? That's realistic. It's okay to go through parts of the forest and there's nothing there. That's totally legitimate and fine. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. But you need to be careful when saying, oh, Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption are so big, there's no way we can really call God of War 2018 enormous. And I'm like, I don't know. If you look at action-adventure games in the vein of God of War, that game is humongous. It's huge. It's going to take you a super long time to do everything. It's going to take you a super long time to go to all the places. And the fact that they are stating, let me read this statement to you. I really think people have missed this, okay? The next installment in the series, so they're talking about God of War Ragnarok size, like the size of the game. That's one of the topics of today. The next installment in the series will bring you a more diverse, beautiful, and mysterious variety of locations than in any other God of War game. So you have to see, they're giving you more diverse, more beautiful, and variety of locations. So there's more in this game than in God of War 2018. Not to mention, you could only go to 6 realms in God of War 2018. In God of War Ragnarok, you will be going to all 9 realms. I believe culminating in Asgard. I believe we will face Odin at the very end. There are people that don't agree with me. I think Thor is this game's Balder. I think we're going to start the game. We're going to fight Thor. And because if you look in the clip when Thor shows up, is that clip's been confirmed a dream sequence? Has there been a new sequence revealed of when he shows up? Like, can we see how tall Atreus is? Because many of us have speculated we're going to fight Thor right at the beginning of the game and barely survive, and that's when we get nursed back to health. That's going to be your time lapse for Atreus getting older. And I think at some point we end up with Mjolnir. Now, we might not get Mjolnir at the very beginning because all the footage we've seen, you have your axe, right? I thought maybe we would have to use Mjolnir for a while because our axe gets destroyed. Maybe Thor gets away. We both barely survive. We face him again once we get to Asgard. Or we face him in order to get into Asgard. And once we defeat Thor, maybe we get Mjolnir. I have to feel like we're gonna be wielding that thing. If you guys looked at the collector's editions, like the God of War Ragnarok collector's edition actually has the hammer, and on the hammer there's like rune spots. And those rune spots look just like the rune spots on the armor and the axe from God of War 2018. You don't think Odin's the last boss? Oh, I do. I don't think they were just being cute with the release date. They're like, oh, Wednesday's Odin's Day. I'm like, wink, wink, wink. Odin's going to be a significant part of this game. I believe it. If this is the end of the Norse series, you cannot leave him out. Surtur should be the last boss. Okay, I'll take back that my prediction that he's the last boss, but Odin's going to play a significant role. We will fight him. Come on. It's Odin's Day on release date. Oh yeah, we're ending the Norse series. This is the way. This is the way. And Surtur is isn't he the big guy? He's the big crazy looking guy, isn't he? Yeah. He's like the big crazy looking guy from Ragnarok. Like, I don't know who is he in? They've not shown him. They've not shown him. Almost 400 viewers. Let's get 200 likes. Guys, if you've never been here before, I do a talk show like this Monday through Friday talking about video games. I am safe for work. Many people subscribe to the channel and they just tune in every day and they throw me on in the background like a radio show or a podcast. So be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button if this is your first time here. Also, smash the like button. That helps out the video. That helps out me and the channel. Consider becoming a member or gifting members. I don't run ads unless I literally go upstairs to like take a restroom break, which is like once per stream. So you're not going to be getting hit with ads when you're here. We rely on people hitting that blue join button or the link below or the command in chat. $5 a month supports me, the channel, and gets you into a bunch of extra content. Seeing as how God of War is not open world, don't confuse Surtur with Sutter. Oh my gosh, what's the difference other than the R? I'm sure you saw my message about the awesome Norse storyline. Loki is far more integral than I was first thinking. I didn't get a chance to watch the video, Derek, but I actually think, I don't know if they're going to do this or not, but when I look at Uncharted, and I look at what Uncharted did with the spin-off $40 game, I gotta feel, I'm feeling this, man. I'm feeling this. Yo, Mike Quad, first new member of the day. I remember shouting that name out on another platform, man. Thank you for jumping in. First new member. Guys, if we hit 1,500 members, my wife has to go back and play Elden Ring every Friday night. You know, her and I do a stream together with you guys, with the members, and she has to go back to Elden Ring if we get 1,500 members. So get some gifted member trains going, get some new member trains going. Keep those memberships active. Let's see. They have shown Surtur in the map with the pre-order map. Oh, they've shown him with the pre-order map. Okay. Surtur is Marvel. Surtur is... Oh, you spelled it. Oh, I see. Surtur is Norse. Surtur is Marvel. Goodness gracious. How do you describe them as different? So what is he? Okay, so Surtur, Norse. Let's see what we got. In Norse mythology, Surtur is Black Swarthy One. He's also in modern Icelandic. Mick D09 hitting a 7-month milestone. Welcome back. This guy says, yo, what's up, G? What's up? How are you? In Norse mythology, Surtur, also written Surt, in English is a Jotun. Oh, I remember what's-his-face talking about Surt in Hellblade. Isn't he the god of fire or something? Surtur is attested and poetic. He's compiled and blah, 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 bliggity blah. Can't somebody give me a quick one here on him? I'm not seeing it. He's considered the one who shall end the world. So he's the one that shall end the world. And isn't he the god of fire? Isn't that who we face in Hellblade when you go the one direction? Who's this soda character we keep talking about? Who's this soda guy? I'm not at all here today. I need more coffee this morning. What's good, Fuzzy? Yeah, we got our first member of the day. Let's get our first coffee order of the day. You're on Reforge Gaming, and if you want to try out our Reforge Roast, it's our coffee. It's not a sponsor. And if you're a coffee drinker and you've never tried coffee with balanced acidity, check out our coffee. Let's see here. This guy is just spamming, so adios. He's a fire giant. Marvel took liberties, but essentially the same. He's destined to destroy Asgard. Okay. I wonder if Loki will be the first one left. Oh, yeah, I need to go back to what I was saying about Loki. Okay, so major spoiler for God of War 2018 about Loki. Atreus is Loki, okay? He doesn't realize that he's a frost giant. He doesn't know that, and the frost giants called him Loki, okay? So he's the god of mischief, and he doesn't know it, right? And Freya at one point says to Kratos, does he know what he is? Because she knows what he is, okay? So I'm wondering if they would do something where they would do like a spin-off $40 game with him and you play as Loki, okay? Because they did that with Uncharted, right? They did the spin-off game with like secondary characters. It was $40. I don't know. I'm feeling a certain kind of way about that because I don't know if they're going to be handing, right? He's a god, not a giant. Well, he's a god, but isn't he also a frost giant? Or was that something that Marvel did? He's Loki? Yeah, sorry. You guys didn't know that? Yeah, he's Loki. You find that out at the end of the game of 2018. Listen, you can't be coming to a God of War Ragnarok stream about the story and hope to not get spoilers. So I hope you guys aren't mad. He's a god and a giant. Yeah, isn't he both? He's a god, but also, is he not a fire giant? He is a fire giant in Norse. Okay. So Barrier found me something here. Surtur the Brave. Okay, so this is from the first game. Mimir is talking to Atreus. Mimir, is there a story of the giant with the flaming sword? He says, of course. We've spoken so much of the frost giants, it's about time we instead met the most fiery giant of all. Back when Ymir first emerged from Ginganagagat, oh my gosh, it was Surtur who followed next. He came from Muspelheim, the fire realm, bringing heat to the young cosmos, conjuring the sun from his primordial flame. But let's come back to that flaming sword, shall we? Surtur the Brave forged his sword of flame for one purpose alone, to burn down Asgard when Ragnarok comes at last. His destiny is to fall at the hands of Thor and Odin, but in so doing, strike the blow that leaves their realm in ash and ruin. And from that destruction, the world can be born anew. Until then, alone he waits in Muspelheim, never sleeping, ever honing his fiery blade. Brave, generous Surtur, who know he lives but to his doom, all because he chooses to serve a grand cycle so much bigger than himself. To truly embrace your purpose and the patience and sacrifice it demands is to ensure your day will come. I'm going to read that again because I really like that. I want that on my wall. To truly embrace your purpose and the patience and sacrifice it demands is to ensure your day will come. That's a good line. All right, so so hang on a minute. If it's prophesied that Thor and Odin fight him, then that means we can't take out Thor and Odin before the end of the game. Do we prove our strength against Thor and Odin and we all fight together at the end or something? You bet we get that sword. Like Rocket. I want that arm. Like, I want that sword. Right? Vidar killed Fenrir and survived Ragnarok. I bet we get that sword. I still think it might be Freya, and she just gets everyone else to dogpile, and maybe she is trying to release Loki to his full power. You might have to kill the boy. Multiple timelines. So he's like Santa Claus in a way, but he only comes once. I don't know how you connected that to Santa Claus, but okay. Don't forget they take liberties in God of War. Just want Kratos to go Spartan Rage on Thor, take Mjolnir, throw it away like a ball, and Thor being shocked because the mythical hammer is heavy, and even Thor needs to wear enchantments to pick it up. There is still the fact that Loki kills Kratos at the end of God of War 2018. Yeah, the prophecy is that he'll kill Kratos. Yeah. Not to distract, but can we get a better look at your shirt? Yeah, sure. Do you like that? It's from 80s Tees. It's from their video game collection. Be sure to use code Lono anytime you buy any shirts at 80s Tees. It'll give you 30% off. Don't forget to order coffee, become a member, or tell you what, it's free to smash the like button, and a bunch of you should be smashing it right now. It helps out the video, helps out the channel. If you've never been here before, hit subscribe and the bell button. I am a safe for work broadcaster, and we appreciate the turnout today. We're here Monday through Friday putting on an interactive talk show, and we will be diving into Stray later, a PS5 console exclusive. Well, no, PlayStation console exclusive. Thanks, I needed that. No problem. That's not the prophecy. All we see is Kratos lying down and Loki near him. Is the prophecy that he kills Kratos? Doesn't it just show him over Kratos' body summoning the world serpent? Oh, right. So maybe he doesn't kill him. Yeah, maybe it's not. Best way to start my morning. What's good? Yeah, anytime you guys come in, if you like my shirt, use the shirt command, and it'll take you to that collection that it's from. I'm always wearing a shirt from 80stees.com. Too bad that doesn't work anymore on new TVs. Is the prophecy that kills Kratos not the prophecy? Oh, yeah, and for the members-only people that weren't able to get background play, a guy commented and said he gets background play to work, and he's a member and premium, and he's on Android. So the people on YouTube replied and said that you guys should try updating the app and clearing your cache. And I was like, okay. Sounds generic, but you could try it. That wasn't Kratos in the mural. Kratos depicted with the tattoos in every mural except for the person in Loki's arm. I believe the person in Loki's arms is the Norse god of war. Stray is coming to Steam, though. Yeah, I said console exclusive. Console exclusive is a new phrase. It means that it's only on that console, but also PC. Yeah, PC's having some shader stuttering. I read that. Okay, is that the picture? Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that, yeah, he doesn't have the tattoos, but then who is that? Did we... How is that not Kratos? Maybe we lose our tattoos. What is the tattoo from? What's the red from? Chat, hit like, press subscribe if you're enjoying the content, become a member, gift memberships, buy coffee or a shirt. Thank you, Ronald. I'm on the Android phone, but the background play doesn't work for me. Yeah, they said that it should. I'm currently stuck in the hell area defeating 100 enemies on God of War. Oh, give me God of War mode. It's stressful. Yeah, God of War 2018 difficulty settings seemed to be, in my opinion, a little overtuned. From what everybody was saying, like the enemies or their healing or something is always throwing it off a little bit. I'm not an expert, but that's what I was told. Cardoc with 19 months. That's a nice milestone. Thank you for renewing your membership and for doing a tier 2. Guys, Mr. Glum will upgrade his membership to like a tier 3 or 4 if, like, I think he said if 20 to 40 more people would upgrade to tier 2. When you're a tier 2 member, you get increased access in the Discord. There's a VIP room. You might get some codes to games. You get guaranteed slots on community game night. And you get to vote on what my wife and I play on Friday nights. Kratos doesn't have tattoos on that side of his body. Oh, that's a really good point. It's the left side of his body in the mural, and he doesn't have tattoos on the left side of his body. Does my tier 3 count as a tier 2? 2 tier 2s? No. We wanted to see 100 total people at the tier 2 level, which means we need like 40 people to upgrade. Mr. Glum was just like, hey, if we can hit that, he threw it out there as an incentive. Deimos got kidnapped, and it was Deimos' birthmark, so Kratos got the tattoos to, like, remember about him or something. Yeah, well, according to the pictures, Kratos does not have tattoos on the right side of his body. Sorry, left side in the picture. The right side of his body. So when he's laying on the ground in the mural, that's his right side. That's definitely him. That's one thing I don't like about the game, is that 2 of the locations you go to are fighting arenas instead of actual locations to explore. For a limited time, anyone with a PS4 or PS5 can play Stray for free, no subscription, says Omega. Yeah, it launches this afternoon. Tyr is the god of war in Norse mythology. Is Tyr the really tall guy that stands up? Is that our assumption? Didn't I get him confused with Mimir? Because somebody said Mimir. Yeah, he's the real tall guy that stands up. So, but that's not who's laying next to Atreus in that. No way. Tyr has super long hair and a super long beard, and the guy in that picture next to Atreus is bald with a big bushy beard. That's 100% Kratos laying next to him. Tyr said to be 9'6". Jiminy Christmas. Detour real quick, but has anyone played Breath of the Wild? I was debating on getting it. I think Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest open world games ever made, but, you know, if you're used to 60 frames per second, you might dislike some of it because the frame rate's a little rough. Frame rate can be a little rough. Some of us need to stop double and triple dipping and go tier 2, or maybe just double or triple dip and tier 2 for consistency. Yeah, we're trying to really, on this channel particularly, Bowers, we're trying to, like, circle the wagons and reinvest here. If you're double and triple dipping, I absolutely love you. Coming here and doing a tier 2, I think it just adds that vibe of, like, oh, wow, there's a lot of tier 2s. Oh, wow, these people are getting, you know, into things early. Like, that might make people want to upgrade, that kind of a thing. It doesn't matter to me, whatever you want to do. Tyr is said to have been killed because the people loved him, but was instead imprisoned, and Kratos goes to release him. So there's, like, black parts on the person on the mural's eyes, and it's not a skirt that Kratos would wear. It's totally different. Well, then maybe something happened to him. You know what I mean? This doesn't mean Loki killed him or anything. It's just more of a concern. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just next to him. Yeah, it looks to me like Atreus is holding him and trying to save him in some way. Right? It looks like Loki is holding Kratos and, like, trying to save him. You know what I'm saying? Like, here. This is going to be blurry because we'll have to zoom a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Let me reload. My browser history is synced, so it'll be at the top. There we go. Okay, so you can see here, Loki, his arm is holding up. I'm telling you, this has got to be Kratos. I don't know who else this could be, but he's holding him on his knees in, like, almost a sorrowful position. Yo, Riv's upgraded to tier 2. There it is. There it is. One person pushing us closer to that goal, man. Thank you for doing that. And Kratos is down here, seemingly dead. Like, something's happened to him. Like, is that blood coming out? Right? Another hint. It's definitely Kratos. This is from the official art book. Okay. There's Omega symbols under Kratos. Oh, this is from the official art book. This is a better render. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me get you guys that image. That one's really good. That one's really good. Hang on a sec. Yeah, here we go. All right, so this is from the official art book. So we got a little bit more detail, right? And you can see the Omega symbols down here beneath. So parts of the engraving are busted, but that is 100% Kratos laying there. No doubt. No doubt. What am I... supposed to be also going to be about the live button being gone all day. What? No live button. No way to tell if we're behind or not. What the F kind of stupid decision is that? Yeah, I don't understand why they're... That's a really weird decision. They definitely fiddled with the mobile recently. If you're just tuning in, we're taking a look at the mural of Loki holding Kratos. At this point of the game, you learn that Loki is Atreus, seemingly summoning the world serpent here or something. And, you know, Kratos is either dead or in need of help. Wait a minute. Wait. What if this... What other images lead up to this moment? Couldn't this literally be the beginning of the new game where he has to nurse us back to health? Because I think we fight Thor at the very beginning of God of War Ragnarok. That's what I think. I think we fight him right at the beginning, right? You're on mobile and you have a live button. Yeah, I'm not sure what Eugene's watching on. I'll check on my mobile app just to see what we're looking at here. No, I have the live thing down in the corner, Eugene. I don't know why it's gone for you. I have the latest version of the app. I just updated it yesterday. So it could be some kind of a glitch. I don't know. Look at the bird. It's her. Oh, you think that's Freya flying away? There's an Odin Raven. So you think this is an Odin Raven? Somebody thought this was Freya because she can turn into a bird. Wait. If she can turn into a bird, do you think she's working for Odin? I don't know what's her backstory. What's like the lore around Freya? The companion book says that Loki is cursing and saying his father's name. And again, the clothes do not match Kratos throughout the mural. It's misdirection at its finest. Right, but again, could this not be at the beginning of the game that like he gets hurt and Atreus is like helping him, like nursing him back to health or something? The serpent hates Thor, so it'd be fitting for Kratos to die by Thor's hand, and the boy summons the serpent, starting their hatred for one another. Odin banished her to Midgard. Atreus is talking mad here. That's good. Chilling with pepperoni. That's good. I wouldn't put too much into the mural. It's a looky-loo. Thor ends, Kratos in the start, and then we play Atreus for half the game. You know, I could actually see there being a part of the game where we play as Atreus. Like when he comes back with the deer, I could literally see us doing that. We're gonna go out and hunt. You know how they did that in The Last of Us? You played like 1 or 2 missions as Ellie, right? Because Joel's like sick in the garage or whatever. I could see them doing that. I could see them being like, oh no, yeah, you're gonna open up the game and you're gonna have to play as you're gonna have to play as Atreus, and that could be them sort of tempting or teasing or hinting, wink wink, that there could be a game where we end up playing as Loki. Father, no, I have a resurrection stone. Proceeds to use it. That's right. Neil got his hands on it. Kratos dies at the beginning, and Ellie is the main character hunting his killer. They're gonna pull Last of Us 100%. No, well, not throughout the whole game, no. They've shown us too much footage of Kratos fighting. Smashville says the Raven is Odin, the serpent is a representation of Atreus being confused. Really? Take Kratos out and count me out. Yeah, I don't think it would go very well if they completely got rid of Kratos. But I think you could open up the game playing as Atreus, right? Joel will die, Kratos rather. I don't think Kratos will die in this game. I think that Kratos will get hurt very badly in the beginning. Like, we barely survive against Baldur, all right? So I could see us being like, hey, we barely survive against Thor, and because of that, we're like resting up in some weird sleep state, right? And Atreus is like out hunting and stuff. I don't want to shoot arrows. Have Kratos be a head that just gets carried around. Yeah, he's boy. Read what I said about Tyr. Tyr loses a hand to Fenrir. Notice that they don't show the hands. Oh, they don't show Tyr's hands when he stands up. Interesting. Interesting. I think Kratos will be put into retirement. I could actually see like Atreus and Kratos fighting in the end, and you don't really know what happens. Like, Atreus might survive, maybe not. You know, Kratos barely survives and then has to leave or something. We held back against Baldur. We didn't... What? We didn't hold back against Baldur? Did you watch those cutscenes? We were quite literally near the end trying to kill him. And we were struggling. He is barely standing. Kratos is barely standing at the conclusion of the Baldur fight. I do not agree that we were holding back. Kratos has been holding back the whole Norse pantheon because he didn't want to destroy his son's world, and Greek gods get stronger as they age. He was holding back. Lono, we did. Extended lore. Oh, for frick's sake. It actually doesn't look anything like Kratos. In every other mural, Kratos has the red tattoos and different clothing. Why would they change the entire look of him from Mural 1? I think it's because that side of his body doesn't have any tattoos. Are the other images, is he facing the other way? That side of his body doesn't have any tattoos at all. Right? So, you know, I don't know. People do think it's a looky-loo. They think they're trying to fake us out. They said he was tugging off... They did say he was tugging off the cobwebs in the first fight. The mural definitely isn't Kratos. I want to play this series after the Ragnarok trailers. Does the God of War 2018 game alone give enough background and character development, or do I need to play all the God of War games before this comes out? I think you could get away with just playing God of War 2018. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much for being here. This is Reforge Gaming, a daily talk show about video games. I'm safe for work, so you can subscribe in confidence. I'll be in your sub feed all week doing a talk show like this. A lot of people treat me like a podcast or a radio show. We're talking God of War Ragnarok Story and size. We looked at multiple blog posts, the updated story synopsis, the 9 realms, statements about how this game will be bigger and have more variety than all the previous God of Wars, and we're very, very excited. Can we get a word that it will be a one-shot again, or will there be cutscenes this time around? One unbroken shot like 2018. Oh, okay. The one-shot camera is an underrated part of the game. Yeah. I would recommend God of War 2018. You kind of need it for Ragnarok DLC. Yeah, you kind of need it for the God of War Ragnarok DLC. That's right. God of War 2018 was my first, and I was just fine. I think so long as you know the general premise of God of War, you'll be fine. Yeah, I would say you could probably get away with just buying 2018. I'm just saying what the developer said online about Kratos, but this only applies to the first fight. It says chilling with pepperoni. Take it up with the devs. Yeah, they didn't do a good job showing us that. It looks like you barely get through the fight. It looks like you barely survive. What role will Freya have in God of War Ragnarok? Will she help Loki, or does she actually die? I don't know if she'll die. I could see her talking with Loki. Like, if we have one of those scenes where we're playing, I think we might play as Loki in this game periodically, you know, or maybe just in the beginning. And there could be a scene where she talks to us and she like tries to kind of hint at like what's really going on or what's coming or who he really is. Find a lore channel if you want more info. That's true if you don't want to play all the early God of Wars. God have boy, boy become man, man kill God. That's right. She's an antagonist. They said that she could come around. I think I need to go back and replay 2018 for sure. This is hyping me up. I was considering replaying God of War 2018 leading up to the launch date of this. I don't know how many weeks in advance we would need to do that. we kind of struggle to do gameplay here because we're primarily a talk show channel. So the minute we do gameplay, we don't get lots of support for it. And if we only did it in members-only segments, it would take a super long time because our members-only segments are not super long. I expect Mimir to get her whole body back, his whole body back. I was talking about the mural. Look how long Kratos looks. Giants weren't giant. They blurred the right hand. Reminder, Kratos is dead. What? They blurred the right hand? Well, why would that matter? Wait, you think it's the actual God of War? You think it's Tyr on the ground? Why would he be bald? I don't understand. I thought about a quick New Game Plus run, said Eugene. Freya probably will show up like Balder and we'll have random encounters with her throughout the story. I could see them doing that. I really could. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, plenty of people here. Try to get us to 300 likes, almost 500 folks tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show. We try to have a very interactive talk show, and again, it is safe for work, so you don't have to worry about throwing me on in the background of your work day, or if you got like, you know, family around or whatever. Dad of boy, that's right. Kickstarter launches for a new game. I don't care about that, and I'll read that later. I was just seeing if we had any coffee sales. Tyr got that fresh cut, apparently. I just don't know. I don't know. In my opinion, I think Freya will tell Loki who he really is. Be sure to subscribe and become a member. That's right. That's right. If you're used to YouTube, like watching short videos and then you get hit with ads and all that stuff, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen when you're here on my live streams. We don't do that, but we do ask people to become members. If you enjoy the content regularly and you can afford a membership, it's $5 a month. We do tons of members-only content for you. Pretty much every day there's a segment, and then Friday nights I play games with my wife, so consider doing that. Tyr gets his hand bit off in the lore. Also, Balder is bald in the mural. You know what's funny? You know what we haven't considered in the mural? Do you know what we haven't considered? Loki's bald. So maybe them being bald means nothing. That could mean that that's not Kratos. The live button's back? Okay. I advise you to be a voice performer in the game? Who? Even if they actually have Kratos dying, it's not like the first time he died. It's been 3 or 4 times. Kratos' gaze lingered on the final image of the mural, a fragment only partially intact. It showed an enigmatic image of the boy holding a dead body, gazing up at the sky, weeping and cursing. The rest of the fragment had been destroyed, making the identity of the corpse an eternal mystery. Yes, yes, we are, he said in a distracted voice. Look how big he is. Well, he's a lot bigger than Loki. Look how big Loki is. Look at Loki's legs. Like, look, if you took these legs, this is to his knee. So his knee is here. So his legs stretched out, he would be almost as tall as the dude laying there. You know what I mean? Brock is also bald. Don't count out the dwarves. Yeah, but he would be blue, would he not? I don't know. I could definitely see that not being Kratos, since Atreus is also bald in the mural. So being bald doesn't mean anything. Freya doesn't know that Loki is Atreus, and she doesn't know that he's a giant. The only ones who know is Head, Dad, Boy, and the dwarves. The man Atreus is holding has no hand. Well, it's been intentionally scratched off so you can't see it. So yeah, it could be Tyr. I don't think this is about Kratos' ability to come back. It's about if he would want to come back in the first place. Didn't they say Loki is Atreus in the 2018 game? Yeah, they say that in the end. We also don't know how the perception of time is going to be used in this game. I think there's definitely going to be some time manipulation to play through the nonlinear timeline. I don't know about time manipulation, but I definitely think they're going to do a time lapse. I think the game's going to open with a potential really, really crazy fight. And then I think Kratos will be needed to be nursed back to health, right? Kratos also has this outfit on in the other murals. It's a very different beard, too. Look at the beard differences. Look at the beard differences. So Kratos in the other murals, his beard goes up his face. And this final picture, let me give you guys a comparison here. In the final picture, that's not the case. See? Look, his beard is depicted running up the jawline, right? Running up the jawline. Now, look here. This beard doesn't go up the jawline. It's just contained to the goatee, to the front. Right? That's not the same. Oh, it's doing zoom on both. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think that that's Kratos. And God of War Tyr. Does Tyr have a beard or a goatee? It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell if Tyr's beard goes up his face because his hair's kind of in the way. It could just be central to his face. It's really hard to tell. It looks like he has a normal beard. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to tell. Kratos could have his arm bit off too. Santa Monica definitely allow Norse love for the Fenrir bites off the hand of a god. Could be Kratos instead. Time manipulation is likely, since whoever blew that horn, the serpent clearly knew them. Because if it was the gods, your Mungander would have snitched on him and would have told Kratos and Atreus. Everyone has a beard in the game. Yeah, but the depiction of Kratos is very different. The beard comes down to a point, it goes up his jawline. Whoever Atreus is holding does not have that kind of a beard. It's a different person. It's a different person. So they're trying to save somebody or do something, and they die, and it makes Atreus very upset. That's neat. They won't. Fenrir is the son of Loki. Why would he fight dad and granddad? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not up on the lore a lot. How are they going to explain that Loki's the mother of Odin's horse? What? Maybe it's Tyr. Kratos will go back to the land of Sparta. A lot of people think that this game's going to culminate in Kratos leaving the Norse area. Guys, there is a lot of people here, and we can't hit 300 likes. Come on now. We only need 30 more likes. Those like milestones are super helpful. If we hit 30 likes before the first hour of the stream is up, that'll be massive. Smash that thumbs up button, man. It's free to do that. It's free to subscribe. If you can't afford a membership, those are the great ways to support the channel and the video. If you can't afford a membership, do me a favor, man. Click that blue join button. You can type !join in the chat if you don't see the button, or there's a link in the description as well. You can also gift members. 7-month milestone for Helix Music, renewing the membership. Get those likes up, chat. Helix is calling you out. Norse lore has to be thrown out. I mean, I'll read you the direct quote. It says here, you can't call the game God of War Ragnarok and not have Ragnarok happen in the game. It's going to happen. We're going to cap off the Norse series with it. And this is the director, Eric Williams. So the director of God of War Ragnarok, right? The director is like, yeah, this is the end of Norse. In your opinion, who will fight Kratos at first, Thor or Freya? I think we fight Thor first. I think we almost die. And I think Freya shows up later. I do. I think they're going to do a time lapse. I think that's how Atreus gets taller and older. I think we might even open up the game, fight as Kratos against Thor, and then the next segment we're playing as Atreus, like hunting in the woods. Because when we bring that deer back, that's probably when we hand the game back to Kratos, right? It doesn't mean it has to follow exactly how Ragnarok happens. I wonder if they will make Thor look like Thor. Have you seen Have you seen Thick Thor? Thick Daddy Thor? Hang on, I'll show you. God of War Thor. A lot of people didn't understand why they made him look like this because they're expecting the Chris Hemsworth version. They're expecting, like, mega sexy guy. This is what he's going to look like in the game. He looks like a giant barrel. He is not, that's Thick Daddy Thor right there, baby. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind snuggling with Chris Hemsworth. This guy, he probably smells like beer and sweat. Let's see. This is how Tyr is shown in the murals. Yeah. But that's the different murals, though. That's a different style of mural. That's like the metal ones that you find throughout the game. The man definitely attends Viking tailgates. Yeah. This guy is menacing looking. Like, you wouldn't want to fight him. You know what I mean? You would not want to fight him. Because he just looks like he's rough and ready for anything, you know? 13 reasons why you need to play God of War News Game Mode out today. When did that come out? Oh, that's really, really old. New Game Plus. 13 reasons to play God of War 2018 New Game Plus. Relive the adventure while keeping all your earned equipment and abilities. Start a new game with all your armor, talismans, enchantments, and attacks, even weapons. It's for everyone. You'll be able to select your desired difficulty, explore new customization options with more powerful versions of existing armors, collect Scap Slag, a new resource used by our blacksmithing duo to craft perfect rarity level gear. I put this game on arcade mode, DLSS. That's funny, Paul. That's funny. So, I want to punch his belly. I kind of do want to punch Thor's belly a little bit, you know? You want to see, have you ever bumped into a bigger guy's belly? Sometimes it's like bumping into a solid object. It feels like you've actually bumped into a wall. Other times their belly's like soft. You kind of bounce off like a beach ball. You know what I mean? Some guy's gut is like a medicine ball from the gym, and then other guys, their gut, it's more like a beach ball. Like you kind of bounce off of it. It's more playful. You know what I mean? You kind of want to give them the Pillsbury poke. You know, they might not like that though. They might not like that. But there's two kind of bellies. You know. My wife said an empty one and a full one. That's not what we were saying, Mama. We're saying when a guy's got a big belly like that, like sometimes it's soft and you kind of bounce off, and sometimes it's like a hard. I like the headband, bud. You look good. He's imitating bouncing off the belly. He's going, ugh. That's somebody bouncing off a belly.
No, like this. They accidentally fall on his side. They're like, bounce.
So you think a really big guy's belly, if he falls down, he just bounces back up? You think?
I don't know. I've never.
Okay.
I got a type.
Papa has a big belly, so
You know what I'm saying?
I do not have a big
I
belly.
got a type, so I've never experienced that.
Just because I eat a lot doesn't mean I have a big belly. What? Okay. Yeah, my wife says she has a type, so I'm too small to experiment. Yeah.
No, you're too fat to experience it.
All right, that's enough. Get out of here. That's perfect. Thanks, Mama. Lono has a big belly. I actually started putting on a little bit of weight. I'm not showing anybody my stomach. What in the world? Big belly shaming? No, I actually have. I've lost weight. I got up into like the 260s. I'm down to 251. I was putting on weight, man. I was drinking too much and not taking care of myself. So I've lost a little over 10 pounds, right around 10. It's not Kratos in the mural picture. Atreus is the giant. The person he's holding is a giant. I think that's Tyr. I don't understand why you're saying that, Smashville. There's other pictures where Kratos is larger than Atreus. And Atreus' legs are bent. Atreus is basically the same size as the guy he's holding. 260? Oh my gosh. 260. No. 160. Holy crap. Where am I keeping all that weight, right? You're like, Lono, you can't be that heavy, bro. Yeah, sorry. 160. I was 160. I'm down to 150. Show us your gigantic legs. That's why my legs are never in stream. I carry all my weight in my legs. They look like the legs of a horse. I can crush bowling balls with my thighs, you know. I entered competitions a couple of years ago, and then I injured myself. That's why I'm a streamer now. I assumed you were 6'5". No, I'm 5'6". I'm a short man. I'm not a very tall man. Yeah. I was trying to get cast as Thor in Ragnarok, and it didn't work out, so. 260. Gee, many freaking Christmas. Hey, YouTube is telling me that now would be a good time to run ads, and we actually don't like disrupting the live stream with ads, so we do ask people, hey, consider becoming a member, consider gifting membership. That might sound weird to you. You're like, I'm usually on YouTube and streamers aren't saying that, or YouTubers aren't saying that. They just run ads. I don't do that. I only run ads if I go upstairs. I don't think the live environment is good to run, 30, 60 seconds worth of ads. I think it's far too disruptive. So if you like what we do here and you want to support it, you want to see things continue and keep going, consider becoming a member or gifting some members. I'll be honest, that was mildly confusing. Yeah. I'm 5'11" and 230. I knew there was no way you were 260. Yeah, I don't know why I even said that. I was just like, I don't know if I was reading something in chat and like transposed the numbers into my brain, like 260 people. I'm going back and reading the reactions. 260? 260? Okay, that's cap. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking that. Maybe somebody's number. Sometimes I do that. Like, I'll be mid-sentence and I'll read something in chat and that word will get into my sentence. So maybe I was looking at somebody's name with a number in it or something. There's a couple of people with numbers in their names up there around the time that I said it. Like, Chilling with Pepperoni, his number's, 2578. So maybe I did that. I don't know. Because I was reading my brother saying, oh man, I can't wait to cut up and make jokes. And right above him is that Chilling with Pepperoni number. So I might have grabbed that number. I do that all the time. I've literally been like mid-sentence and said something that doesn't make any pickles. I'm just kidding. I faked that one. That was a fake one. Okay, chat, I think we all know what to do with this information. If you were 260, you'd be flexing. Oh, yeah, I'd be like, oh, my gosh, I wouldn't be able to walk. I'd be like, just this dense, nothing but muscle body, you know what I mean? It'd be hard to stand up. Said it with such confidence, had me dying. Yeah. Valiant says, I know what you do with this information. And he types that word. There we go. Thank you. Always good to see how mature my mods are. Always good to see how mature the mods are. He said, I said that sometimes I read words in chat and they end up in my sentence. And he said, I think we need to know what to do with this information. Then he typed that word. Lono's made of stone. Yeah. That's my secret. I'm actually, it's a condition that I'm not too comfortable talking about, but my muscles are actually 70% stone. So what's good, Mr. Glum? Mr. Glum, we got one person to convert to Tier 2 today. We're well on our way. We want 100 people at Tier 2, and Mr. Glum has to upgrade. Lono's carrying a dump truck in the back. I know, I am not turning around so people can see. I don't have a dump truck. I have a normal-sized rear end. There's nothing special about it. My wife said she'll post it in Discord later. There's a reason to become a member. Do you think Freya will help Loki till Kratos fights her? I don't know. I'm dead serious. I think we're going to play as Loki for a little bit. I think we're going to, hunt that deer that he brings to the cave. And I wouldn't be surprised if, while we're out and about, she talks to him. She shows up and talks to Atreus, and she's like, you have no idea what you're doing or who you're working with, or you don't even know who you really are. She's going to give us some, one of those kind of speeches, you don't truly understand what's happening here. You know, she's gonna try and talk to us, I think. That's my theory. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Who will tell Atreus that Kratos killed his first family in Greece? Will that reveal of his father's past make him choose to be Loki and turn against Kratos? Yeah, I don't know, Cashbox. Like, there's always the opportunity that Atreus learns some stuff that causes them to fight. They're like, oh man, you know, he thought he was this dad that was helping him. Mr. Glum, you are freaking bonkers, gifting 10 members to the community. This guy every day coming with massive support. Asha, Hopping Rabbit, Welsh Raven, Dillinger Preacher, Jiraiya, Invisible Male, Dabbing Jesus, Radagan, and Kareem all got a gifted member. If you just got a gifted member to this channel, keep in mind, we do members content basically every day just for you. It's at the end of the day, so if you're not a member, don't worry. I'm not like taking away content from you. And then every Friday night I play games with my wife, and if you're a tier 2 member, you can vote on what those games are. So get in our Discord. YouTube does not do a good job of putting members only content in front of you. I basically have to shout at you so that you know when I'm going live with a member stream. I do like a members only community post. We post in the Discord, we tweet. So make sure you do that. That way you do not miss out on all the perks and benefits as being a member. $5 a month gets you into a ton of extra content. Is there a way to look up who gifted? I was gifted a few days ago, I think. Sky, there's not a way for you to look that up, unfortunately. Guys, make sure and thank Mr. Glum. Mr. Glum, so generous to the channel lately. It's just unbelievable. Smashville says, I said Kratos is dead because he goes to hell. That's the only way you get to hell in the games. He even says in one of the games that he is cursed or something like that. I'm convinced, Mr. Glum, failed senses in YouTube Lurker are kids just using their parents' credit cards. Hopefully not, because that train will run out really, really fast. Yo, Mr. Cool coming back in, hitting a second month of membership. Love this guy. Thank you for renewing and hitting 2 months in a row. Oh, the runes around the mural were translated. All signs pointing to Kratos. Death, father, disaster. Or death is happening, his father is there, and his father is part of the disaster. Like, he brings the disaster. There's a variety of ways to look at it, right? Those could be 3 completely separate entities. Like if I wrote on a chalkboard, right, you know, hurricanes, tornadoes, destruction. Well, they're all 3 very, very different things. So death and father and disaster could be 3 separate things happening at that point in time, right? Death shows up. Maybe his father is the one that brings the death and the disaster. He's the one who kills whoever he's holding. I broke down and bought a Series X that's supposed to be delivered today, and now I just got an email from Sony Direct about having the opportunity to buy a PS5. Why does the universe do this? That's so frustrating, Fozzie. That's so frustrating. You're like, all right, fine. You know, I'll do it myself. Could we get 50 more likes on the video? Could we get to 400 likes? If we have close to the same number of likes as viewers, that is so amazing. We will be checking out Stray today. I can't install it or play it until noon. That's in about an hour and a half. So we're going to continue having a great conversation, hanging out, and providing a great show. If you've never been here before, this is Reforge Gaming. I'm live Monday through Friday doing a live super interactive talk show, and I am safe for work, so you can subscribe in confidence knowing that you will not have to worry about how I'm talking on stream. Not a lot of streamers do that. Not a lot of streamers are able to. They're just part of their brand and their personality is to be swearing and stuff, you know, and I try not to do that. We try to make sure it's also a very, very high value stream, so we're always trying to give you guys that opportunity to have that interaction. We're constantly reading chat. Are you going to play through when it comes out? I don't own a PS5 is why I asked. Oh, to do a playthrough of Ragnarok? At this point, our plan with games like Ragnarok is to play them until the wheels come off. If we get to like part 3 or 4 and the viewership and support's not there, I'll kick it over to members only. And that means we'll start having to do maybe slightly longer members-only streams when new games come out, because I'm going to want to play through the game to completion. We got to like part 4 of Forbidden West, and we didn't get the greatest support. Some of that just comes from the channel growing, might help, but also one of the challenges, right? One of the challenges is, as we grow, 80% of the time someone's hitting subscribe and digging the content, they're responding to a talk show. So it's tough. Like, we're building an audience that largely responds to the talk show. So if all of a sudden I'm playing a game and not doing the talk show, that can be a turnoff to people who are like, well, I like when this guy does his talk shows, but, you know, gameplay, I can take it or leave it. Yo, Mr. Cool, gifting 5 members. My man Fin Freak, a long-standing member of the channel and community, got one. RJ, Ona Seek, and then Ankin and Johnny Dingo. We have membership incentives for certain milestones. 1,500 members, and my wife has to go back in and play Elden Ring on a Friday night. And right now we are sitting at just shy of 1,100 members. We're at 1,088, so we're just under 1,100 members. Thank you for that. My contention with that is that Kratos killed Balder, which started Fimbulwinter, not Loki. Yeah, because, I mean, that's, you know, all the snow is there. I am chill. Didn't you read my name? Chilling with pepperoni. How many members for Madam to get on the mic and just roast you for 10 minutes? That's tough, man. She kind of has to get her jabs in and then, you know, get out. She can't roast for straight 10 minutes. That's fair. There's content streamers that will drop a game if the viewership isn't there, so that isn't an outlier position. It's just tough, Graydon, because truth be told, when a game like God of War Ragnarok releases, people are interested for like a day or two, and then after that, they're like, okay, like, I want to either play it on my own or not, and in either case, I don't want to watch you play the entire thing. So if we do it as a members-only thing, it doesn't really hurt the channel. If I get self-indulgent, I play Ragnarok for 2 weeks straight, and the viewership's going like this, you know. Now, some of our thought process is, as long as the morning talk show gets crazy good support every day, you know, we can afford to have streams of gameplay that don't do quite as well. I'm of the opinion that we should really only be doing what there's demand for. You know, like, if people aren't digging this, then we need to stop doing it and just kick it over to members. Like, that's generally my attitude is, if I'm going live for 5 or 6 hours a day, I'm going to be doing something that's in demand, right? North America and Eastern time, depends on which time zone. 11 a.m. Oh, I can get it installed at 11 a.m.? It might be available in 30 minutes. That'll be really helpful, because I do not like having, like, 3 hour some odd streams. Yo, T-Man Grove upgraded to tier 2. There we go, Mr. Glum. Another person. We probably need like 30. I think that means we needed 41. So now we need 39 more people to upgrade. If you want to force Mr. Glum to upgrade. Yo, what's good, Sven? What are you going to install? So today on PlayStation and PC is the game where you can play as a cat. It's called Stray. We will be checking that out later this afternoon. And apparently I might be able to install it in 30 minutes. Friendly tip, don't drive home from LA and get home at 3 a.m. and have work 3 hours later. Oh, golly. I would, yeah, I don't know if I would ever do that. Well, friendly tip, don't live in LA. Or don't go to LA. The Hot Wheels DLC for Forza releases today. That's right, that also releases today. Yes. Are you playing on PS5 or PC? Excuse me. I'll be playing on PS5. Well, there is a tweet exchange from the official Annapurna Interactive Twitter account, and they're saying 11 a.m. Eastern, so I don't know. They might have mistyped it. Maybe they're misinformed, but it looks like it might be a little bit earlier. You took the 405. Zubair's game? Yes, Zubair's spirit animal game. That's right. All right, I want to know what you guys think about this. So, when it comes to the Game of the Year contention, what do you guys feel Ragnarok needs to do in order to beat Elden Ring? That's been a pretty big discussion. God of War Ragnarok, game of the year. People think that it has a chance. Other people think it doesn't have a shot. Okay. What does God of War Ragnarok need to deliver to unseat Elden Ring as the current defending champion? Hey, somebody ordered some Reforge roast. Thanks for doing that. Holy moly. 5 bags of light roast, and they said the best way to start the day is with a cup of Reforge roast and a spicy talk show. Thank you, James. Thank you, James, for 5 bags of light. That's a big order, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. Just making sure you saw this. I don't want to play your frickin' game. The new Swervathan. A brand new membership from the new Swervathan. Thank you so much for doing that. Would really love to see more folks picking up and doing membership, not relying on those gifteds. We have some super generous people here, but I don't want to completely rely on their generosity. We need folks jumping in on their own, get committed. $5 a month goes a long way when a bunch of you do it. It has to transcend gaming at this point. I don't think sales matter because Sekiro won before. Improve combat and increase world size, says Eugene. So Eugene says you just got to improve the combat and increase the world size. Stormkiller says, I think it's like you said, God of War will probably take it because it'll be easier for people to play and beat than Elden Ring. Ronald says that's tough. Have sequels technically won Game of the Year awards before? I feel like, there we go, Dad Not Good, doing a tier 2, jumping back in. Maybe that'll fix your badge. I don't know what was going on with your badge. Have sequels technically won? Last of Us 2 won. And are there other sequels? I mean, God of War 2018 was essentially a sequel. Just wait until I win the lotto. Let's see. That doesn't make any sense. You just became a member and you don't have a badge. That is so odd. Doesn't make any sense. Improve the combat, says Mank. So Mank is saying improve the combat, make it possible for more combo chains and stuff, bigger world size, and make all the realms interesting and worthwhile. Ragnarok needs to let me use Kratos' twin swords from minute 1. Hated getting them towards the end. Oh, the chain blades. Elden Ring loses to God of War for story alone, says Gale. I enjoyed Elden Ring's story, but it's not at the forefront for the players, so as long as the game delivers, God of War wins. There are people that think that. A $5 tip from Insomniac Black. Lono's out here body shaming Thick Daddy Thor. I'll be saving this for my tell-all in 2 years. Hey, I like Thick Daddy Thor, man. Hashtag Thick Thor. I can see God of War winning just because it's newer than Elden Ring. God of War Ragnarok needs to have some quality of life updates, says Abe. Same or better combat than God of War 2018 and be the best and latest release. Recency bias will do the rest. Yo, it's good, Hellfire. It's so hot over here. My half-melted Malters. Well, thankfully, Louisville, our temperature dropped a little bit today. It's only going to hit 89. Eugene says Half-Life 2, Mass Effect 2, Portal 2, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4. Those have all won Game of the Year. How do I get to pick to show instead of my S? Oh, you do that at an account level. You got to, like, up in the right-hand corner, you go to, like, account settings or something like that. Powerlifter Thor versus Kratos Norse World's Strongest Man competition. Those are BAFTA winners. Oh, okay. Your mother-in-law is from Louisville? Yeah, I've lived here for... In like a month or two, it's going to be officially 20 years that I've lived here. Just put Neil Druckmann's name in as one of the devs. It's a guaranteed win. Give me God of War cannot have me dying in 2 hits. I'm a literal god. If it's just more God of War 2018, then it won't stand a chance versus Elden Ring, says Parkour. Thank God, but then tomorrow Louisville's back to 97. Yep, We are finally getting the heat today. New York City is going to be gross this afternoon. Yeah, some places have been able to kind of skate by, but it's going to get you. It's going to get you eventually. It's only a matter of time. We are super close to a milestone on subs as well. Thank you to everybody who hit the sub button today, joining as a member, joining as a sub. We appreciate that involvement. I went to Louisville for the first time last year. Great city. Hot brown, great dish. Churchill Down is horse racing mecca. Michigan's weather. Louisville feels humid during spring, summer, and even most of the fall. We didn't even get a spring this year. Last day of heat here, and then we're back to nice temps again. Glad to be here chatting, Lono. What's good, Train? Times Square was like a sauna this morning. Oof, it's too many people. Ragnarok should have some special sizzle on it for me to feel okay with it winning Game of the Year. Okay, so to summarize what a lot of you have said, God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year is generally going to happen if they improve. The two things people seem to focus on is improve combat, general quality of life improvement as well, and then make the world bigger. That seems to be the general contention. Because my thought is, it's God of War Ragnarok versus Elden Ring. Like, that's the face-off of the year as far as Game of the Year contention goes. I believe that's the face-off. Those are the two games that are going head-to-head. We need just a couple more likes for 400 likes. Thanks everybody who's been smashing that button. You are the best. Thank God for Central Air. I'd be dead otherwise. Oh, fuzzy. Yeah, ours was broken when we came back from Ohio. We were so glad to have it fixed that night. Do you enjoy Louisville? I lived off Preston a while back. Moved out to Rough River 10 years ago. Oh, I love Louisville. Yeah, I love it. It's a good city. You got Southern hospitality. You also have a downtown and decent sort of setup there with the Yum Center and stuff for concerts and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a good city. We've got really, really good local food. Elden Ring has the issue of time because a lot of bugs and performance issues and developers are clearly not fixing them. Here is where I live using the American system. It's 102. Oh, there you go. Play the cat game. Oh, we're playing the cat game today. Yeah. I can't install it yet. God of War snatched it from Red Dead Redemption 2, which was better in my opinion, so I don't know this year. After The Last of Us 2, Game of the Year is meaningless, says Revive. One thing I hope to see is the menu when loading it up for the first time being the shot at the end of 2018 where Thor's hand on the hammer, and the moment you hit start, it jumps into gameplay. Oh, I like that idea, Magical Fat Guy. I like that. That sounds good. God of War will probably win Game of the Year, says Chilling with Pepperoni. Mine's been out a week and you're in Georgia. Repair guys didn't show last time. I've been dying. Golly, that's awful. Downtown been sketch around First Street and Broadway as of late. Yeah, we don't go down there, but I'm over here scratching my head about what quality of life things people want in God of War. I can't think of really anything. I mean, I think people had issues with God of War gameplay. There were some criticisms with, with some of the combat as it got harder just didn't scale properly, I'm not saying they would need to do significant things, but I would like to see them smooth it out a little bit. If you're just tuning in, we've been discussing God of War Ragnarok Story. We got new story synopsis from Sony yesterday. We also talked about size of the game, going to all 9 realms versus only going to 6 in God of War 2018. We're now sort of discussing whether or not God of War Ragnarok could win Game of the Year because Elden Ring seems to have it pretty locked up. What would God of War Ragnarok need to do to win Game of the Year? Some folks have said combat needs to be improved, quality of life, size of the game. According to Sony, this will be larger than any of the other God of War games up to this point. The Valkyrie fights were rough combat-wise. I didn't play God of War 2018, but you're going to tell me there isn't a single thing you'd like to be improved upon? God of War New Game Plus is ridiculous. Needs more diverse enemies. Will Kratos die in Ragnarok? I don't think so, no. I think they're going to set up Kratos to go somewhere else. That's what I think. Everyone talking Elden Ring versus God of War. Stray's going to take it, and you can ship that. It's funny, because It Takes Two kind of stole it last year. It kind of came out of nowhere. And upon replaying It Takes Two with my wife, I was like, yeah, I think this game deserved it. It was very, very good. Enemy variety, tired of fighting the same troll 100 times. I ain't saying I don't think things could be improved. I'm saying I don't get the quality of life complaints. I don't think anybody was actually complaining. I think they were saying if God of War Ragnarok is to win Game of the Year, they would need to do some good quality of life improvements. Brush it up, polish it up, make the world bigger, make the combat better. Like there needs to be measurable, marked improvements on the game, right? I think Kratos will somehow end up in Egyptian mythology. Maybe fighting with Loki. What if they... Well, hang on a minute. If they end up fighting in Asgard, you remember when Loki and Thor in Ragnarok... Now, this is MCU, but they're fighting and they get thrown out of the Bifrost and they end up in just random places. Well, they surprisingly, they end up in the same place. But what if the fight in Asgard leads to some kind of a moment like that where Loki and Kratos are fighting and they get kind of like exploded, scattered, and then that's like all of a sudden the end of the game, Kratos is like laying in sand and wind's blowing and he stands up and looks out at the horizon and it's clear that he's in like Egyptian mythology. Yo, Skits McGee upgrading to tier 2. There it is, another person jumping into tier 2 membership. If we hit a certain number, if we hit a high enough number, Mr. Glums has to upgrade. What are you upgrading to? Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember. What specifically is a quality of life thing, like in particular quality of life? Sometimes people don't have a specific list. They would just like to see a list of like, hey, we smoothed this out. Hey, we made this run better. Hey, we made this faster. Hey, we made this more streamlined. I don't know. 4? Okay. So Mr. Glum has to upgrade to tier 4 if we get 100 tier 2 members. Kratos fighting Horus and Isis would be dope, not gonna lie. Ditch the whole Papa and Son thing. Yeah, I think they might do that for the next game. You might be onto something. Yeah, because if they're in Asgard, isn't Asgard central? And then if you get sort of thrown out of there, you know, the Bifrost gets destroyed or something, who the frick knows, and then you just get thrown into some other realm. These gifted subs are tax write-offs. Mr. Glum owns a hedge fund. I'm in the south. My thermometer said 41 degrees earlier, but the clouds have come over and it's dropped to 34. What are you, that's Celsius? Valkyrie's not being quite as trollish would be nice. You might be onto something. Oh, I already read that. Man, thank you for the huge turnout today. If you guys are enjoying the content, maybe you've never been here before, this is Reforge Gaming, a daily talk show. I am safe for work, so you can subscribe in confidence, covering all kind of different games. This week alone, we've covered loot boxes. There was legislation that didn't end up passing that folks were hoping was going to pass. We looked at Soulframe. We looked at Upper Echelon's video on Ubisoft. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Subscribing is totally free, so is smashing the like button. But if you want to support the channel directly, you can become a member or you can gift members. Can't wait for Kratos to fight alongside a Dark Elf. God of War's combat wasn't as great as the original trilogy, says Omar, but it was still enjoyable, and the story quality, presentation, and world design improved dramatically. Did you ever get your $50 for the God of War release? No, he has to do it the day I'm playing. When he bet me that it would be delayed, yeah. The series continues with Atreus, and Kratos is missing after Ragnarok. Series in search for Kratos through different pantheons, Atreus growing in his own legend. Don't forget the licensing argument yesterday. Right. I would like to see Kratos versus Egyptian, Aztec, Hawaiian, or perhaps even Lovecraft deities. I don't know about all that. One quality of life feature I'd like to see. A usable map. The map in 2018 is almost useless. I don't know if Eugene is talking to me, but I 100% God of War 2018 just 2 weeks ago, so yeah, I played it. Oh, I think when he said, tell me you've not played the game, it was the person that said something about The Last of Us 2. Eugene's one of the few people that, like, ardently defends that game winning Game of the Year. I don't know how many people... I've not talked to many people that have played that game that agree with him. He's one of the few people that kind of, like, takes up a torch for that one. And, I've not played it, but... I've continued to say that a sequel has to do a ton of stuff to win Game of the Year over a new IP. And Ghost of Tsushima was a brand new IP. You know? Finally, a specific quality of life comment. 2018 combat's the best in the series for me, says before 1 is 0. If I am to be cursed to deathless misery, then at least I can rid myself of you. Who's he? What's he doing there? There's Sven. I agree with Eugene. Last of Us 2 deserves it. You think you want to put Sven in your corner, Eugene? Have you thought this through? Doesn't Sven like enjoy every game that comes out? No hate, Sven. No hate. But I don't know if you want Sven in your corner. Last of Us Part 2 is game of the year for me. Okay, so before 1 is 0 agrees with you. Ghost of Tsushima got robbed. Last of Us 2 is a masterpiece. No, Derek, I wouldn't be snarky like that with you. Yeah. Last of Us beat out Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Doom Eternal, and the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Total snub. Here they come. All right. Last of Us 2 team, rise up. I'm with it. Last of Us 2 is an amazing game. How many of you that think Last of Us 2 deserved Game of the Year actually played Ghost of Tsushima? I'm not discounting your opinion. I'm just curious. Because I've not played Last of Us 2, so I don't argue very strongly here. I've just continued to say, if you're a sequel, I think you need to do a ton to win over a new IP. Are we going to get Ghost of Tsushima 2? I think so, yes. Halo Infinite is Game of the Year. Last of Us 2 on a technical level was a masterpiece. Where most people disagree is the story. Did you end up getting the Jotnar edition? I heard some YouTubers couldn't. I got the one underneath of it, and I was fine with that. I mainly just wanted Mjolnir. I just wanted the hammer. The Last of Us Part 2 was good, but not Game of the Year. Rivs, that is so harsh. Who voted Last of Us 2 over Ghost? Helen Keller? Oh my gosh. Rise up. Shrug off the shackles of the incel neckbeards. Do not be afraid of the basement dwellers. Yeah, but Eugene, there are people who have thoughtful criticisms of the story and what they did, and they're not just being some incel neckbeard. They're like, I don't think this was a good way to treat the story. I didn't really think it was that great. It was a good sequel, but did it deserve to beat a brand new IP that was amazing? Like, Tsushima's a triumph, you know? I think there are plenty of thoughtful people that thought Last of Us 2 didn't deserve it. You know, I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima was fine, but Last of Us 2 was better for me, says Jake. Last of Us 2 was definitely Game of the Year if Ghost of Tsushima didn't exist. That's good, Omar. That's good. That's not the vast majority of the complaints. Here's my problem with this. I don't like how this continues to be the thing. People have genuine complaints and concerns and criticisms about Last of Us 2 or the new Lord of the Rings show, right? And then a pocket of the online community is nasty, terrible, and awful, and then all the criticism gets thrown in that bank. I don't like that. It's almost as if people who really like The Last of Us 2 or people who really think that like the Lord of the Rings show is not going to be a garbage fire, they're basically like, you know what? I'm going to let these hijackers, I'm going to let these nasty people, I'm going to let them win. I'm going to couch every criticism, concern, or worry, and I'm going to let them sort of take over the narrative. You're almost using them as a weapon. That's how I feel. I feel that as of late, we let the nasty, fringe trolls on the internet, we give them way more presence and power than they deserve, and I honestly think people do it. They almost in an inverse way weaponize their negativity to be like, yep, here you go. Here we go. Here come all these haters. Here come all these hateful, awful people. Yep. Game was totally fine. Game was great. Game was a masterpiece. Not worthy of any criticism or critique or concern or worry. But, this is what people are saying. That's been my observation. It's almost as if people attacking the person and not the argument don't have a strong argument of their own. I think they're much larger than you think. No. Assuming their fringe is the problem? No, I don't think so. In my experience on the internet, when I go to Twitter threads, when I go to Reddit, and when I'm like streaming and I have people saying that there's, oh my gosh, there's so many people doing this and so many people being negative, it's always amazing to me how hard I have to search for the hateful people, right? It's always amazing to me. streamers and developers and community managers all, claiming that they're victims of all this stuff. It's always amazing to me how hard I have to search for the actual mean tweets. I'm like, where are they? It's like positive, positive, positive. Oh, here's a douche. Positive, positive, positive. Oh, this guy's really nasty. Positive, positive, positive. I don't know. I think there's a psychological illusion or trick at play where we see negativity as bigger than it is. It's like the boogeyman. It's like, it's not that big. I always remember and always go back to the day that I was streaming to 2,000 to 3,000 people. I had 2 or 3 people being dumb in the chat, and somebody's like, why is chat being so negative? I'm like, chat's not being negative. 2 people are. I don't know. Always just a few, definitely exaggerated. Maybe I haven't kept up to date, but why is the new Lord of the Rings show going to be bad? I don't want to get into it. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. Because there are people that are acting like... That's another one where you can't talk about it without it just turning into... it's just fruitless. I just got back to my keyboard. I was the one that ordered the 5 bags of the light roast. Was expecting my screen name, not my government. Noties, okay. I didn't see your screen name. Creature took it off of the labels. I don't see your screen name anywhere. Oh, it was on the thing. I'm sorry. It was on the thing. It was on the label if you chose to put it in. It was. Last of Us 2 subreddit, 47,000 sandwiches, 187 looking for towels. Welcome to the most active subreddit of The Last of Us 2. Okay. I don't understand. The Last of Us, 232,000 infected. What are you trying to substantiate here? The Last of Us 2 subreddit is a fraction of the main one. Why is that? Or what are you proving with that disparity between the two? Just comparing Reddit, the bad one is 47,000 versus 232,000 in the general one. I don't understand. Is the Last of Us 2 subreddit one where they just mock the game and make fun of it? And is the other one like the official one? Oh, yeah, the other one's it's like for part 1 and part 2. It's not fringe. So, but again, you think 47,000 people that join that subreddit are all incel neckbeard haters. Again, I don't know, Eugene. I think sometimes I think you're doing it at this moment. I think you just project a broad brush on a group of people that are either being critical or nasty about the game, and it's, oh, well, every single person that clicked to follow that subreddit, 47,000, they're all haters and incel neckbeards. Have you read the sub? No. But I can see that top posts from this month has 624 points. Wow. Out of 10 million people who bought the game. Right. That's a drop in the dadgum bucket. And that's only if all 47,000 people are hyper hater, awful, terrible people. There was a phenomenon with that game. I don't know. I mean, you're also assuming that all 232,000 on the official one are all lovey-dovey, super supportive, awesome people. Like, I don't know. I think there's so much presumption in that math breakdown that, like, well, this subreddit that makes fun of the game, all 47,000 people are horrible, hateful, incel neckbeards. Everybody over here is super nice and awesome. I just don't know about that. I think that's too presumptive on the numbers. It's also a game that sold, did it sell 10 million copies? It sold 10 million copies, and, did all 47,000 people go there and say that they think those terrible, awful things? I don't know. I'm on that sub because I like to read all the insanity. I'm also on the main sub, says Fuzzy. Yeah, how many people are just watching the car crash? It's more about the psychological and mental toll of two people that have been through it and how they struggle. Oh, you're talking about the game. We have 330 million in our population. I think the gameplay in Last of Us 2 does not get enough praise. It's deep and moldable. The gameplay is good. Yeah, I've never bashed the game. I read at least 2 different lengthy, thoughtful criticisms of that game, right? And then I saw it all couched as they're just incel. That's what Eugene said. They're just haters. They're just, you know, the words people like to use that I don't want to use these days. Everybody apparently has a phobia. It's like one of the most overused conjunctions ever. Like, everybody has a phobia that thought that game did stupid things with the story. My main complaint was that I had to restart our skill tree halfway through the game because of how the story plays out, but I had no real issue with the story itself. Are you forgetting the girlfriend reviews YouTube? I don't know what that is. It is one of the best zombie gameplay of any game ever made, in my opinion. It's so good. It's like it's 4A, not AAA. It's quadruple A. I'm married with a kid and dislike The Last of Us 2. Definitely not incel. What's the name of a phobia of phobias? Oh, the phobia of all phobias? I forget what that one's called. Isn't that one? That's an actual phobia, isn't it? Phobia of phobias. The fear of phobias is phobophobia. I'm sorry. We shouldn't laugh. That might be like a thing that is really hard to live with. It just sounds funny. Phobophobia. It honestly sounds like a store, you know. Welcome to phobophobia. Hi, I'm testing this for Google support. Yeah, Dad, not good. Still not green, still no badge. You know what I mean? This is the side sub, which is run like crap. Of course it has less people that use it. Yeah, come on. Well, I don't think he's saying less people are using it, Paul. I think what Eugene is saying, there's a lot of people on that one, and he's saying that they're the haters. They're the nasty folks. Mark Clark has phobophobia. Who else is extremely worried about the story in Ragnarok? I hope they don't Disney Star Wars this up. I think the God of War Ragnarok story is going to be very good from what we've read from the synopsis and from the characters that we see involved. Another reason I preferred Ghost of Tsushima over The Last of Us had nothing to do with the quality or gameplay differences. Last of Us 2 is just emotionally very taxing. I played Ghost of Tsushima as a relief from The Last of Us 2 many times. That might speak to the game's quality, though, Omar, if it's emotionally taxing. How well written and well directed was it if that's happening? The only thing I'm afraid of is snakes. Yeah. The most people I see complaining about the story are people putting Joel on a pedestal that can't do no wrong and did not like seeing all the mistakes he makes. I struggle to sympathize or empathize with people who can't wrap their head around taking the previous protagonist and sort of dashing them on the rocks. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the Luke Skywalker thing, right? Like, people that acted like, I don't get it. It's so cool to subvert expectation. No, it's not. We know there's negative threads to Kratos' backstory, but can you imagine God of War Ragnarok opening and then just completely subverting everything you were hoping to see and experience as Kratos? I mean, like, yeah, sorry. Sorry, man. Deadly Dad Gaming. The fact is that the negative content on YouTube does really well. It gets clicks and people will watch it to see if there's controversy or something that intrigues them. It's easy clickbait content. Well, for sure. Like, I vowed never to play Last of Us 2, but for totally different reasons. But that doesn't make me an incel or a neckbeard. Bad game? Well, people would claim that's because of the review bombs. 93 on Metacritic, 5.7 from the users. And it did get review bombed. It did. People were angry and they went and just gave it zeros. Imagine if they kill Kratos and replace him with She-Hulk. Kratos is getting killed off by a golf club. That's right. 67,000 negative user reviews on Metacritic for The Last of Us 2. Lots of incels, I guess, or maybe it was just a below par game. Or maybe people don't like when you completely subvert their expectations with the story. I didn't like Last of Us 2 because they ruined the ambiguity of Joel's choice at the ending of the first game. Well, I think you're forgetting how many people literally had some of those exact complaints about God of War 2018. Woke Daddy Kratos and the like. Those people exist. Wait, people think that Kratos... They claim that Kratos is woke? People claim that about God of War 2018? Replacing the main protagonist is a difficult thing to do. Can't speak of The Last of Us, never played them properly, though. It's not about Joel's mistakes, it's about the way the story was told. Every dog has his day, and he was going to get his... The event should have played a little bit different, not to make you hate Abby from the go. Should player expectations even be considered by developers when creating a game? I think so. If it's story-driven and you play as a character throughout the entire game, yeah, I think so. Right? Like, if I'm playing as a guy throughout the entire game, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about... I'm trying to do good and heroic things, trying to survive whatever, and then you take that character and in the next game you turn him into something that I didn't think that he was, right? That's upsetting. It's like, what in the world? Like, people play games like this and they put themselves in the position of the player, of the character. We like to think that we would be heroic. We like to think that we would do the hard thing and the brave thing. And so when someone plays a game and they're the main character and they're going through insane crap, right? Like in Ghost of Tsushima, one of the things that I really, really like in Ghost of Tsushima is that you get to go and consider what you're doing. You're departing from the way of the samurai, and you're helping your friends, and you're dancing between vengeance, revenge, and justice. There's this constant tension, right? Who do you think Joel was? He was never a hero. People totally misread that character. According to you, why are you the arbiter of his goodness? Did you kill your uncle? Yes. Why are you the arbiter of how great Joel is? Were we supposed to come and ask you what to think of him? Were we supposed to come and ask you how much we saw ourselves in the character and the highs and lows and the heroism and the things that he did? Like, why are you the arbiter of how great he is as a protagonist? According to the creators, frick the creators. I'm the one who played the game and came to conclusions. What are you talking about? Frick the creators. You can't come back around and tell me, like, if I played Ghost of Tsushima and the creators came back around and said, hey, we actually don't think that he's that great of a guy because he departs from the way of the samurai and he compromises the entire time and he does all these things that he swore he would never do. I'd be like, well, frick you. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. Like, that's not up to you. I played it. I felt a certain way about him. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying one side is right or wrong. What I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense to, like, surprised Pikachu face. I'm downloading Stray, thank you. It doesn't make sense to, like, surprised Pikachu face. Look at all these incel hater neckbeards when you do that with a character. Are we really going to act like that's, like, surprising? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people really identified with the character, thought he was, you know, brave, heroic, cool, or whatever the frick, and they got really upset when we did this with him. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying one side's right, one side's wrong. I'm saying if you can't grapple with why people would be irritated when you do that, then I don't think you understand the mechanism of how people identify with the protagonist in a story, warts and all, flaws and all, we identify with them. If a large group of people have got it wrong, then it clearly wasn't written well enough. If I create a character and you misread him and develop expectations based on that misreading, and then I do something completely in line with that character, I didn't subvert expectations. Sure you did. You subverted expectations that you inadvertently set. Maybe that's on you. Maybe you didn't do a good job with your writing. Maybe they didn't do a good job with the first game, making it pretty clear that you're not playing. It's not like we're playing Deadpool, and then Deadpool does something kind of scummy, and we're like, what the frick? Like, we all know Deadpool is the anti-hero. We all know he's not as pure as the driven snow. But, like, I never once played through The Last of Us and thought, oh yeah, I was definitely a bad dude the whole time. Just a total doucher. Yeah, he's a piece, he's a trash can. What a loser. Like, I never once felt that way or thought that way. He's a man doing what he can with what he has. He's neither good or bad. I think at the end, he made a terrible decision and now paid the price for that. Right, and I'm telling you, if you can't understand why people played through an emotionally gripping, narratively driven, character-driven game and wouldn't get into the next game and feel a certain kind of way about him being just kind of exit stage left, not that great of a guy, and people being upset about that, I don't know. I just said he's not a hero. Right, I didn't say you said he was a bad dude or a trash can. What I'm saying is that's what people felt like. They're like, what the huh? What? This was the guy I played as in the first game. It was an amazing story and experience. What the frick? That's part of why the story wasn't good enough. It makes you think. Part 2 just ended it. You think Joel's a hero? You misread him. Saying that we misread him, it just smacks of arrogance. Like we weren't as smart as the writers or you or anybody else. Anybody who played that game and felt like he was the hero, or he was the hero and he's complex or whatever, being like, you misread him, you didn't get it. Well, okay, do a better job next time then, because a ton of people felt that way. A ton of people felt like he was the guy that they believed in. They were, ride or die. They were with him through the whole game. Part 2 sounds like it need a prologue to focus solely on Abby. I just think it's extremely dismissive to be like, all these people didn't get it. They all misread it. They're hater incel neckbeards, and it's like, it sounds like you can't really defend it. Sounds flimsy to me. Sounds flimsy, right? Those are flimsy defenses because they just smack of ad hominem. It's like you're attacking the gamer. It's like, well, the gamer didn't understand it, or they're incel hater neckbeards. Like, that's flimsy. Extremely non-intellectual, flimsy defense of the story decision-making, which actually makes me lean more in support of the people that didn't like it. I'm like, if that's how you have to defend it, to be like, well, you gotta listen to the writers, man. The writers said, well, he's not a hero. Anybody that thought that misread him. These people are just a bunch of phobia people, and they're incel hater neckbeards. And it's like, it sounds like you can't really defend it from an intellectual standpoint, so you just get down in the ad hominem trenches and sling mud at the people that didn't like the story decisions. That's what it sounds like to me. Those are flimsy ways to defend the story. Like, I don't know. The defense of the story has always been, well, he's not a great guy. Like, okay. That's the defense. Joel's an everyman, purposely set up to be identified with before the goodness or ambiguity is established. Every person thinks of themselves to be the hero in their own story. Disagree 100%. If you play both games back to back, it's easy to see the logic on the story. Like I said, I've seen plenty of people break down why they thought it was a bad decision. And they're not being a hater. They didn't misunderstand the story. They're not like, Joel was a hero and they dashed him on the rocks. They're just like, this doesn't seem like what nobody was expecting this. You completely subverted expectations. When you subvert expectations, you will get a negative response. You could make completely legitimate, logical, story-driven reasons as to why Luke Skywalker was a disgruntled, grumpy, I don't want to get involved old man. You could make sense of it to me logically. That doesn't mean that subverting my expectations was good storytelling. Let me throw the lightsaber over my shoulder. I'm really grumpy. Brr. Like, that doesn't mean it's good storytelling. Like, just because you can connect the dots doesn't mean that that's what you should do. Like, oh yeah, we'll set up all these expectations, all these arcs, and then, we'll dash them and everybody will be, just have to accept it. I just misunderstood Luke Skywalker's story arc, I guess. I just didn't get it. Knives Out was full of subversion and no one complains about that movie because it didn't follow a movie before it that set up all those expectations. It's one thing in a mystery whodunit to do looky-loos, fake-outs, and trickery. That's a mechanic of those types of storytelling. You don't do that in a frickin' trilogy or a sequel. Imagine in The Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo being like, frick all that, dude. We're not helping Luke. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not Han. Lando. Lando being like, hey, frick all that, bro. We're not going to try to find Han Solo. I didn't like him to begin with. He screwed me over a long time ago and stole from me. So frick Han Solo. Like, people have been like, huh? I don't know, like, what? When you're doing a sequel and you subvert plot expectations, people are going to get really frickin' mad. I'm like, what the frick? That didn't seem like that didn't seem like what you were going to do. I'm talking about the overwhelming narrative surrounding the game. And I think we live in a day and age where the negative narrative gets put in the spotlight regardless of how big and how much traction it's gotten. And I think what it does, Eugene, I think it's weaponized. I think they weaponized the incel haters who say really nasty stuff. They weaponize them, and it's armor. Do you want to know why it's armor? Because then they're like, well, if you criticize the story in The Last of Us 2, you're in this group of people. Does anybody want to actually criticize the game? Does anybody want to write a thoughtful review about why you think the story's bad? No one's going to do that because they leverage the haters as narrative armor, because anybody who's going to step up to the plate and try and say anything critical or make a complaint or say that they didn't like it, well, now you're going to get grouped in with all these haters. That's the grand irony in this entire situation, is every time these negative narratives come out, everybody's a victim. Like, they turn into this victimized narrative. They grab a small group of nasty people, throw them into the spotlight and say, see what people are doing and see what people are saying, and they use it as narrative armor. I'm playing 900 IQ chess. You're not getting that freaking crap past me. I know what the frick you're doing. You're using the hate and you're weaponizing it and turning it around, and it's narrative armor. Yeah, go ahead and criticize our game now. The narrative is, the subtext is, you're a this if you criticize our game. Gee, I wonder why it got a 93 and no one said a single thing about subverting expectations or completely, just juxtaposing narratives like on a hinge. No one's going to bring that up? Gee, I wonder why. You think the gaming press doesn't dance to this kind of nonsense all of the time? They 100% do this. And it hits close to home because it's why people don't report on things accurately, because nobody ever wants to question the narrative and get labeled as the dirty word. Nobody wants to do that. Everyone's kid gloves, like, oh gosh. We'll get attacked by the mob on Twitter if we say that we thought that the narrative was weak in The Last of Us 2. We're going to get categorized with these people. The same thing happened in 2020 with the Me Too movement. It happened with The Last of Us 2, and it frickin' happened with Deathloop, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. Nobody would say a dadgum word about Deathloop because we finally have a culturally important game or whatever the frick the narrative was. Push back on your idea that they're fringe. I think it's hard to claim that they're fringe because they're cast in this light, and then what happens? Yeah, I'm like that too. Like, you basically make it seem like it's this big movement, and you make it seem bigger than it is, and a bunch of people latch onto it and say, "Oh yeah, I think that too." I don't know. My personal contention is that this stuff gets overblown, overstated, and that people make it seem much bigger than it actually is. And then what does it do? It becomes a viral moment, and people that are like, "Well, I love being a hater on the internet. Yeah, I'll go downvote that YouTube video. I'll go review bomb that game." They don't genuinely have a dog in the fight. They don't give a frick about the game. But you create this movement and you're like, yeah, look at all these nasty things people are saying. And it's like this cyclone-like effect where all the haters and trollish drones of the internet, whoop, they get sucked up in it. They go downvote. They go review bomb. And you're like, see, these people, these incel neckbeard haters, they're not fringe. Look how many of them that there are. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, yeah, you made it seem like there was a mountain of them. So people like to hide in numbers. Haters on the internet like to hide in numbers. They love to downvote a video. They love to be a part of some stupid viral moment, to the point that YouTube got rid of the dislike button count being publicly viewed because it was just turning into junk data. People just mass downvoting videos because it's fun. Like, I don't know. Being on this side of the internet and being on this side of the hate and the vitriol that people will throw at a given thing, I think people are more addicted to just being negativity, and they're addicted to negativity and being a hater. So when these moments happen and these companies trot out this narrative that they're a victim and that they're being attacked, or they want to sue a 17-year-old or whatever the frick they're going to do, they create this idea that there's just like this monsoon of hate out there that they have to wage war against. And I just think most of the time it's bogus and overblown. I've been on the other end of hate mobs and nasty people, and the lion's share of the internet's just not doing that. It's people that are just addicted to it. I think a lot of the review bombs are not even done by people who give a rip about the game. They don't even have a dog in the fight. They don't give a rip about the game that they're review bombing. They're review bombing because they just love that feeling of like, I'm taking something down a peg, I'm attacking something, I'm getting to take a chunk out of something that's up there and doing well. Yeah, outrage addicts. I don't even know if they're outrage addicts. I just think there are people that are they live terminally online, and that's what they do with their day. They go out and they try to wreak havoc on the internet. That's just what they want to do. Death threats were flying everywhere. YouTubers who praise the game were getting them. But that's what I mean. I like, whenever that happens, the whole death threats thing, that's another thing I think just gets grossly overstated. Like, I had the world, is what it felt like, sent after me, and I think I got like 2 death threats, thousands upon thousands of comments that I had to delete every single day, and I'm supposed to believe that many people got angry about a game and were attacking YouTubers and threatening their life. Like, I don't know. I always find it so incredibly hard to believe. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I don't ever think it happens to the degree and the volume that people claim. I've seen so many people do this on Twitter. They're like, I got so many, triggered white men in my mentions. And I go to their tweet thread, and one dude with 1 follower said something. I'm like, I see it all the time. I got it downloaded. Thank you, Talika. I see it all the time. This idea that like, oh yeah, I've got so many, triggered incels in my mentions, and you can search their Twitter name, you can go to the thread that they claim triggered people, and they'll be like, one person being nasty. They're like, what are you talking about? Nobody's attacking you at all. They use the fringe haters and they push them into the spotlight and say, if you criticize us, then you're one of them. The worst of you could think of is happening already. People start drama over for views. It's the new revenue. Right. I don't know. Like, the hate raids are a great example on Purple. Do you remember that? Purple Platform was getting all these awful, nasty hate raids, and it makes headlines, and everyone's blowing it up and drawing attention to it, crying victim, right? Instead of just quietly ignoring it and like going to Purple and asking for tech solutions. They make sure and they clip it. They put the video on Twitter. They get millions of impressions because, like, oh my gosh, this horrible thing. It was two dudes. It was two dudes who had an automated way of creating accounts and attacking people. But what did everybody think? Oh my gosh, this is a huge problem. This is just terrible. The level of hate. All these people out here spewing hate. See how hard it is to be a streamer? See how hard it is to be, you know, a minority? And I'm like, I know that you have lots of challenges and things suck and people can be terrible, but it was two dudes it was all automated. They were bots. But it's cast as like it's this massive, horrible problem. Shut up. Like, just shut up. People are addicted to self-ascribed victimhood. I'm not saying that's what happened with The Last of Us 2, but the pattern is set, right? The pattern is set. So sure, maybe the quantity and the fever pitch was bigger for The Last of Us 2, okay? Maybe it was. Let's say it was. I take issue. I get underneath of it, and I take issue with the mechanism of response. Why give any attention to it at all? You're writing articles, you're making videos. Why? You're pouring gas on the fire. Did you notice how fast people responded to you about whether it deserved Game of the Year? Maybe it's all algorithms messing with us. Your algorithm showed you that no one really liked it. Mine shows me all the unfounded hate. Yeah, maybe Eugene. That's what I was just getting at. Like, the mechanism of response is to magnify the hate. Like, look at all this horrible hate, and then there's this negative narrative of hate. Well, now no one's going to criticize the game now. I don't want to be in the group of hate. I don't want to be a hater. You know what I mean? Like, no way. I don't want the phobia label thrown at me. So on the Hedgehog 2, Sonic dies and you play the rest of the game as Motobug's kid. It's not that these things don't happen. There are hateful people on the internet. People hate and say terrible things. They attack people. They go after them. They send death threats. These things happen. The mechanism of response, in my opinion, is honestly more sinister at times. It's honestly more sinister. Because what they do is they take the hate lobbied at their game or whatever's going on, and the mechanism is to, like, drag it up into the spotlight and be like, look at me, look at me. Oh, no one's talking cancel culture. We were talking about Game of the Year, God of War Ragnarok, Elden Ring. We started talking about what it takes to win Game of the Year, especially if you're a sequel. Naturally, one of the most debated Game of the Year sequels in existence is The Last of Us 2. So, God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year contention is 100% connected to what we were talking about. We didn't get on cancel culture. I think there is a public mechanism on Twitter, YouTube, and the like that takes hate and uses it. And it gives us this impression of, like, there's an army of incels out there. And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's overstated. It's pretty terrifying that our versions of reality are not based on facts, but based on what will make you interact. I've been aware of this, but it feels like it's at a dangerous level. I make a cheeky, somewhat serious comment, and here we are. That's right. I don't know. I think you underestimate the power of amplification. A few haters make a video. It spreads to 250,000 people who think this person's like me. I agree and feel empowered to hate now. Oh, Graydon, I made that point. This is one of the reasons why, like, being like, oh, look at these haters, and they drag them to the top of the headline pile. Well, now you got other people being like, well, I think that too. And then, like, yeah, they come out of the woodwork for sure. I'm not saying there aren't lots of hateful people out there. I'm saying they don't mobilize this effectively. They typically mobilize because of you're talking about it. You're making it headlines. You're making videos about it. Charlie Moist Critical videos get millions of views just discussing one Twitter post, and then millions of people see it. If your argument can't withstand criticism, then your house is and was built on a fallacy. If your Game of the Year norm is because of the social views, then I will say the gameplay sucked donkey. Well, I actually think from everything I've heard, the gameplay in Last of Us 2 is phenomenal. I saw a tweet where someone unblocked a known toxic person to see a tweet about this company, and instead of saying something about that tweet, they went through old toxic tweets and posted those instead. I'm not worried about that. I just think you always should question. This is what you should question. If a game company or a person is claiming victimhood, they're claiming they're being attacked, they're claiming all these horrible things happening to them, you always want to ask the question, why? Why are you spotlighting this? Is it true? Like, look on Twitter, see, like, are they actually getting attacked in their mentions? Are they actually getting attacked on their, on their tweet? Well, I got all these people mansplaining to me, and you go to the tweet and it's like, no, nobody's doing that at all. Nobody's attacking you. Nobody's doing anything, right? That's all I'm saying, is that I felt like when that game came out, the narrative quickly turned into that. Like, people are being nasty and terrible, and we're going to focus on that. And that took over the entire conversation. So nobody could actually have a conversation about, like, when you subvert expectations, how people are probably going to respond. Girlfriend review thing went national. I don't even remember, what is that, Eugene? What's the girlfriend review thing? Join the Nightingale team Discord server. Man, just give me gameplay. I don't want to hang out in a Discord server. Like, no offense, I know people like hanging out in Discord servers of games that they're following, but like, as a content creator, man, I just need gameplay and info and interviews. I don't need to be in a Discord server. God of War Ragnarok is like a Ferrari right now. It doesn't need commercial because the game from 2018 stood its ground. Oh, no, I agree with that. I actually think that was actually a funny debate about the God of War Ragnarok release date drama that people are like, why can't we get a date? And the people are like losing their dadgum minds. I actually attributed a lot of that to both the gaming drought that we're in right now. It's a bit of a drought, no major news, nothing huge coming. People get antsy, people get kind of testy, okay? I think that, in addition to the fact that the first game was incredibly popular, it's hugely popular. So I think people are like, come on, just talk about it, just give us some info. Like, that's why today, when we got the God of War Ragnarok story details, I was like, let's talk about it, man. This is exciting. All 9 realms. There's an interview where they say this game's going to have more than all the previous God of War games. Like, that's exciting. Do you think it wins Game of the Year? If I was betting, I would actually bet on Ragnarok, because I would win on the fact that it's like when you bet on a horse that's less likely to win, like the odds are against it or whatever. Those I'm not a betting guy, so I forget what that's called. Like the 40 to 1, like the horse that won the Derby, and it was literally the least likely to win or whatever. Too long didn't read. They made a positive review video, got accused of being paid for it, brigading against death threats to the point that some national news outlets picked it up. Gee, that's interesting. I wonder how much that did for their YouTube channel. Almost as if spotlighting hate and putting a highlight on the fact that you're a victim. Seems like that worked out really well for them. I'm not negating or downplaying what happened. I'm saying seems like it worked really well for you. Can you imagine your YouTube channel getting to a national news, like what that kind of exposure does? You literally cannot afford that level of marketing. You can't. I read that and I see the underbelly. I see the underbelly of that, Eugene. I'm like, I don't know, man. Sounds like they cashed in and got a lot from it. What actually happened to them? Nothing. A bunch of harmless dum-dums on the internet said dum-dum stuff, and they made a bunch of money because of it. It does less than you might think. I don't know. I'd love to check their metrics at that time and see what kind of channel growth and exposure they got. Should Elden Ring be penalized for not having a story? No, I don't think it should be penalized. No. Omar says, how can we know how it compares to Elden Ring without playing it? Elden Ring is novel, but they occupy two different spaces. God of War is more story-driven. I'm just saying I'm betting based on the odds. Yeah, the long shot. The long shot. Yes. I would bet on the long shot because I'd win more money. I would bet on Ragnarok for the upset. I would. You can't blame someone for being attacked publicly. No. That's not what I'm saying. My eyebrows always go up, and I'm like, you really capitalized on the hate. Like, your channel got a bunch of attention. You could have ignored it. Imagine every YouTuber doing that, making a video every time they get like a hateful comment or a nasty comment. You should see some of the comments I delete that get suppressed by YouTube's algorithm. It just holds it so no one sees it. I go through and I'm like, golly, delete. Oh my word, delete. Am I supposed to make a video every time that happens? That's one of the voice actresses. I try to only post positive stuff on here, but sometimes it just gets a little overwhelming. I blacked out some of the words because, spoilers. Side note, thank you all for sending me positive messages to balance it out. It means more than I can say. Wait, so 688,000 followers. Here we go again. No, yeah, here we go again. Open DMs. No, don't care. Sorry. I don't care. I really don't. Like, open DMs for what? Probably a handful of dudes on alt accounts to say horrible, nasty things to you. Your DMs are open. Come on. The whole open whisper, open DM thing, I don't even freaking care. You got a couple 100,000 followers and you got your DMs open, and then you're like, I'm getting death threats. Yeah, yep. Welcome to the internet. Like, anybody at that level with open DMs is going to get nasty, horrible comments. We just don't screenshot it and tweet about it. Like, I'm telling you, I just immediately, alarm bells go off. Why are your DMs open? Why? Anybody at that level of footprint, if their DMs or whispers are open, they're getting that nasty stuff. Like, that's my point is, yes, it's terrible. No, they shouldn't be doing it. But, my gosh. Really? What are you doing? Like, I took my car downtown and I left the windows open and somebody stole all my CDs out. I just don't understand. Well, yeah, you parked your car in an alley at 2 a.m. and left the windows down. Like, surprise Pikachu face. You have hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. You're in the gaming world and your DMs are open. I can't believe you got nasty messages. Gee, golly willikers. What? We better get Sherlock Holmes to figure out how this happened. We got to figure out why this is going on. This is a real conundrum. This is really hard to solve. Wow. I got an idea. Make sure and screenshot it and tweet it. And poor you. And it goes viral. Let's look at the interaction on the tweet, shall we? Look at this impression farm. 18,000 retweets, 173,000 likes, 19,000 quote tweets. What an effective impression farm. Like I said, throw that hate up on a billboard, and boy, oh boy, is it good for you and good for business. What an amazingly effective impression farm that tweet was. Hey, I've got crazy, horrible things that have been said to me. Let's let the world see it. I might as well get impressions off these bots. Come on. You have to see the forest for the trees. That's why I said it's the mechanism of response that sets my alarm bells off. I'm like, Wait. You're on the internet. People are hateful and terrible here. They say awful stuff. Yep. When you weaponize it and mechanize it so that you get impressions and you get a bunch of clicks and follows and likes, well, then I'm a little bit more curious about that. Yeah, there's dumb idiot kids on the internet, and they're going to send you horrible things in your inbox. Why do I need to hear about it? And in grand fashion, every time the tweets go viral. There's also a possibility that people there were genuinely offended and decided to speak on it. You aren't targeted for being in a particular group or face discrimination regularly. Well, I'm not saying that, Omar. But the philosophy of the philosophy of like ignoring the haters or dragging the haters into the light, right? There's different philosophies at play. Sometimes you drag somebody in the light to expose them and be like, can you believe this guy? Look at this guy. He works at this company. Look, all his info's in his Twitter account, and look at what he said to me. He deleted the tweet, but look at what he said to me, right? You drag them into the light to expose them for their wrongdoing. I think there's a time and a place for that. I do. But generic, hateful DMs from just bot accounts, just dumb throwaway accounts, screenshotting that and getting a ridiculous impression result from it, I'm always a little like, I don't know about this. It seems like you're just monetizing hate. The hate raids on Purple felt no different. It just felt like people were monetizing the hate. Like, why are you drawing attention to that? Do you want people to do it more? Like, I don't understand. It's like the people that say, it's really triggering when people come in and say this to me. Well, you just told everybody how to get you flustered. Like, why are you putting that sign on the door? You know what I mean? It'd be like opening a bar and the bartender absolutely hates it when people call him Timmy. He hates it. He absolutely hates being called Timmy, and you put a sign out front, call me Timmy. Like, what? Huh? Or no, don't call me Timmy. Yeah. Don't call the bartender Timmy. It makes him real angry. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? People are going to come in and be like, let's see what happens. Hey, Timmy. And then they like run out. You'd have a revolving door of dumb kids doing that. My son did that to my daughter the other day in just brilliant comedic fashion. He's in this thing where he calls people dude, because I say it. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? And he's like, I'm putting my stuff away, dude. He's naturally very funny. And we're going on a walk together, and he calls his sister dude. He's like, he says, sup, dude? And she's like, don't call me dude. And he's like, okay, dude. And my wife and I couldn't help but laugh. Like, it was very effective. Like, he is so naturally funny. He's just a very funny guy. Like, I actually think he's going to end up being funnier than me, because it's natural for him. Oh, man, we laughed. And I said, buddy, that was very funny. I was like, that was a well-executed joke, but don't call her dude if she doesn't want to be called dude, please. Don't provoke your sister. Great joke, though, bud. Oh, well, just remember I'm a member. Have they not fixed it? We had that with our rugby team. One guy said, don't call me dirty. 25 years later, him and his wife are still referred to as Dirty and Mrs. Dirty. I like how two of the people that tried to claim I'm not funny couldn't even afford themselves the intelligence to type you're. You're not funny. You are not funny. You both did it, Ant and Lawrence. Jiminy Christmas. I happen to be decently humorous at times. I have my moments. But my son is quite funny. Hey, we hit a nice milestone on the channel today. 16.7 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. Appreciate it very, very much. As well as all the new members. Dad Not Good. I hope they can figure that out for you. That's really, really dumb. They're telling me that I'm subbing another name. It's clearly not under another name. I'm giving them a screenshot, so I'm going to try again with them. Okay. Did I need to remind you about Assaulted? Yeah. Yeah, man. Elden Ring had a horse. Red Dead had a horse. Witcher had a horse. Breath of the Wild had one. All Game of the Year contenders. Wait, so you're saying it's a magical goat pony in Elden Ring, by the way. Get it right. It's not a frickin' horse. It sounds like a brand account mismatch. Yeah, it sounds like your brand account's been jacked up. Joel got what he deserved. Quit with the bait, Eugene, you frick. Quit with the bait. Yeah, magical goat pony. They added a YouTube feature. I can hide your video on mobile and still listen while going into other applications. Are you on premium, D-Tom? You're allowed to do that on premium. Are you talking about picture-in-picture? Are you going picture-in-picture? Because that is that's a little bit different than minimizing. No? Yeah, I mean, I can minimize because I'm on premium. I can minimize because I'm on a premium. I'm a YouTube premium member. God of War is going to have a wolf. Going to have a wolf clown. Wait, are you calling me a clown, or are you saying that the game is going to have a wolf clown? Like, is the wolf going to put on clown shoes and a wig and dance around? YouTube has had picture-in-picture background play for about 2 years. Yeah, I don't feel like that's that new. I was struggling with the brand account stuff. It wouldn't let me sub using my card. I had to use PayPal. I think brand account jacks things up. My phone can minimize without premium as well. Horses and AC Valhalla. I mean, come on. I really wonder if Ragnarok's going to lose because they didn't put a horse in it, you know? That's a serious mark against the game. It's a serious mark against the game. Invert vertical graphics. I'm turning the motion blur all the way down. Oh, golly. Have you ever gone into settings and changed stuff and then backed out and it's like, are you sure you want to do this? And you're like, whoops, no. It's like, yeah, I did all that by accident. Guys, I'm going to hit some ads real quick. We never hit ads on the channel. Consider becoming a member or gifting members. That's how channels like mine survive, because we almost never run ads. Most YouTube channels are making money off of ads because it's an upload. We're live, so we don't run ads during the stream. We're getting ready to switch gears to the brand new game on PS5, PlayStation 4, I think, and PC today, Stray, the cat game, but I'm going to take a quick break, use the restroom. I'm bouncing in my chair. I got to go. And you can support by ordering coffee, becoming a member. Check out where my shirt is from with the shirt command. Smash that like button. We just hit 500 likes. You guys are the best. I'll be right back. So my wife got have you guys seen that chirp thing? You like roll on it. There's like 3 different sizes, and you like roll on it like your back, and it like massages the spine and then like pops your back. And the smallest one you can like set in your chair for posture, and I've been using it today. You just like shove it down there, and it like keeps it like I'm like sitting more upright than usual, and it applies that nice pressure back there. I did it for the first time in a long time last night because she got it for me. When she first got it for me, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like this, and so I got it out again last night because I had seen some of the advertisements for it. And I'm like, let me try that again. And I went through the things you're supposed to do when you try it for the first time. Buddy, my back was like, pop, pop. I got like 2 big pops that I like never get. It felt really, really good. Not like those little like just dinky pops you get just from like moving or stretching. Oh, man. Okay, cool. That's set. At first you didn't like all that pressure back there, but now you do. I don't know. I just, I don't know why I didn't like it when I first tried it. You know what I mean? Getting old man pops. I just know, joints farting. I just know that I've talked to some guys that have gotten a little bit older, and they're like, man, you need to be stretching, you need to be, taking care of your back, because that, it'll give you all kind of problems later in life. I was like, well, I start doing that, strengthen my core, keep my back in good working order, Okay. Stretching is super important for sure. Yeah, my cardiologist told me that. He was like, at your age, he was like, you should be stretching every day. He's like, because when you're 50, you'll be glad that you did. He's like, it'll make a humongous difference. Okay. Whoops. Getting everything ready so we can shift gears here. Whoop. Oh, what's the company that did this? Wasn't it like A_I or something? Going on his way to Friday nights. Yeah. Have you seen the P90X guy lately? He aged well, but money will help with that. He was always a real good looking guy. So, I mean, just like, I know the working out probably helped him age well, but it also, like, he had good genes. Like, he came from good stock. You know what I mean? He was kind of a stud. And it wasn't just because he worked out. Okay. You got diagnosed with gout? That sucks. That is not fun. Okay, so I need to switch the audio device HDMI 2. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. You sell any cold brew for the summer? Zane, I have been told... Oh, I need to thank somebody for ordering some coffee. Somebody ordered some Reforge Roast. It was Nighthawk. ordered a bag of light. Thank you so much for doing that. I have been told that both the dark roast and the light roast are great for cold brew. I'm not watching the Reforge Gaming video today, David. I'll probably do that tomorrow if we still feel like it's worth covering. We wanted to give ourselves the opportunity to play straight today. So I'm actually going to set the next stream. I'm going to turn on the 7-second slow mode just because the bots are out today, and they'll probably be on. They'll definitely be on the a gameplay stream. So, okay. The blue and see if the update plays. That blue looks so good, doesn't it, Creature? Can I test something with you guys really, really quickly? Did you guys hear the cat? You guys hear him? Look at him! Look at him, he just made a little noise! He just made a little noise. He's doing stuff. Alright, I wanted to test something with you. Hang on. I did blue for like an update. I wonder if we go back to blue. You know? I just wonder. Do we go back to blue? It just looks really nice. I just feel like the green, is so, it's so strong, and that's just nice and soft, you know? I feel like I pop a little bit more. Mix it up. Just back from my second acupuncture appointment. Seems to be working for my old bones. Nice, nice, nice. Have fun. No spoilers for me. It's a cat game, Eugene. What spoilers? He doesn't want to see the litter box. He wants to find it on his own, you know? He wants to find it on his own. All right, we'll play with it. I'll do blue for today for the rest of today. How do you guys cold brew? My wife bought a cold brew brewing machine, and she says it's great. So, girlfriend and I are playing it together tonight. Wait, is there co-op in this? Did you hear him? Okay, I got to put a link in chat. If we're going to redirect, just in case redirect doesn't work, you can use the link in chat. We are diving into Stray gameplay. I usually don't do long gameplay sessions, but I think we're going to enjoy this one. It's getting great reviews. We do a talk show on the stream. Typically, I'm full screen, sitting in my studio having conversations, and we recently, just this morning, covered God of Ragnarok Story. So if you're watching the tail end of the God of War Ragnarok Story VOD, this is what I do to kind of hand off to the next stream. If you missed my live streams or you want to catch my live streams, I am safe for work, so be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss. And then the link is in the chat for the previous stream. I am going to end the previous stream and bring everybody over and use that redirect feature. Now, this game we're being